Oh shit. Welcome to the Box Office Dynasty. I am the host that wasn't paying attention to the time. I'm Josh.
And I was paying attention as always because I'm just the primary host, I guess.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa,
And
whoa,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
Jack.
whoa, whoa, whoa. See, you don't even say your name. You're the
They
primary
they all
host.
know my
Also,
name.
I
They know
went
my name.
first. I went first. Primary.
They know my
One.
name, bro.
Numero uno.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
whatever,
Box
whatever,
Office
guy.
Dynasty. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good, man. Happy holidays. This is actually we're filming this on January 19th. Josh, before we started recording, said this was his least favorite holiday. It's
Whoa,
Martin Luther
whoa,
King Day.
whoa,
Happy birthday,
whoa,
happy holidays
whoa,
to everyone.
whoa,
Josh said he doesn't even consider it a
whoa,
holiday. He said he doesn't want a
whoa.
3-day weekend.
That is an insane thing to come out the gates with. What the hell?
Happy holidays.
I never said any of that.
No, he never said any of that, but it'd be really funny if he did.
It is, well, when this comes out, it'll be not Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but of course, especially in times of our new dictatorship, it is important, that we have days like today, since you bring it up, Jack.
Well, did you have a day off work today?
I did, actually.
I did not. That's kind of bullshit.
How does a museum open on Martin? Well, actually, I don't know. I feel like because it's a federal holiday, so.
Yeah, I mean nobody came in. No one was. No one. I mean it's snowing here. It's all it's all shitty. Is it snow by you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
dude.
It is winter right now. I kind of love it though, Not cleaning off the car and all that, but like, I don't know. It has been like the perfect amount of snow. I don't know if that
Yeah, I
makes
agree because I
sense.
can still get to where I need to go without it being a hassle.
Yeah,
Like
you know what I
I got
mean?
to work
It
fine.
it's been enough to like blanket the ground and make it a nice wintry vibe for, it's January. It should feel that way. We got the
Yeah.
flannels on and everything. You got the hat. Like
I got my
it
beanie.
is, you got the beanie. I got the flannel. It is winter. So I love it. You can even kind of see it out your window right now a little bit. The
It's like
snow
winter wonderland out there,
on the
bro.
tree. So it's
Yeah.
perfect, but it's not too much where I'm like opening the door and it's like up to,
Yeah,
like
you're not
my
wearing a winter
waist.
coat.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I mean, if it's freezing, but I guess
if you're
not that.
a pussy.
All right, Jack goes out naked in the middle of
I
winter
did wear this today, short sleeves.
and nothing else.
I had a sweatshirt on, but then I took it off when I was outside doing work.
Well, if you're
I
walking
was
around, I guess.
sweating,
But
bro. I was sweating. But
I don't know.
anyway,
I mean, it's
today's Martin Luther
cold.
King Jr. Day. That was all jokes. Josh is a very inclusive man. Um, he
Yeah,
loves
man, that was
all peoples.
uncalled for.
All
A
peoples.
little. Not gonna
If any
lie.
future employers see this, he loves all people.
Yeah, like this is digital footprint that we're
This is
putting out
official.
there. I mean,
My bad, bro.
do background checks. They're gonna see this. They're gonna be
I
like,
know.
"What?"
That's it. I think it might look worse for me than it does for you, anyway.
I don't know. I think it just looks bad for both of us. I think we both just kind of we're Thelma and Louising ourselves off the cliff.
All
That's
right,
what
fair
we're
enough.
doing. Well, we got a great episode for you guys today. Besides, that, we're gonna review our latest Bible study film. Really excited for that. Go over the box office numbers as always. Gonna review the new film, the first big release of 2026. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Very excited. Jack's going to get into one of the first big streaming releases of the year, which is The Rip on
Yes, sir.
Netflix. We'll go over, the film No Other Choice, the Park Chan-wook film. Finally going to get a chance to dive into that one. We're going to give our final thoughts on some of the big Oscar categories before the nominations drop Thursday, January 22nd. And then at the end, we're going to play the game over under again because it was just so much fun last week. So
I had a good time last week.
Yeah,
So
it was
running back.
great. Yeah, it was nice. So we got a jam-packed episode. I think we'll dive right into it unless you have any more crude humor that you would like to throw our way or any more weather talk that
It's
we
not
need
for
to...
everybody. Oh, we should probably just talk about the weather for another 40 minutes.
I
know.
agree.
Everyone
40
wants to hear
minutes,
that.
more like
Everyone
2
wants to-
hours.
2 hours,
knowing
yeah.
us, man.
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, just some housekeeping, actually, that I'd like to get through real quick.
Sure.
and that's a couple of release dates set and a casting for some movies that we've had our eyes on. First one being Mike Flanagan's The Exorcist, was originally slated for a March 2026 release. A while back, that had been taken off the board. It finally has its new release date, March 12th, 2027. In theaters, the new Mike Flanagan Exorcist film starring Scarlett Johansson and Jacoby Jupe, from Hamnet, the kid in Hamnet, so he's joining this film as well. This I'm very excited for this still. You know, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, but it is one of the iconic horror franchises. I love Mike Flanagan. Obviously, he's great. And they, like we have said in the past, they're calling this a radical new take, and I'm curious to see what that's going to be.
I like Mike Flanagan, but I just don't care.
Hey, maybe the trailer will entice you though.
Maybe it could
Like,
sell
you
me.
know.
I don't know.
So anyway, that is the new release date for the Mike Flanagan Exorcist film. Speaking of horror releases, we've also talked about this a little bit in the past. The Conjuring prequel film that is officially going to be titled The Conjuring First Communion and is set to release on September 10th, 2027 in theaters. So Last Rites was not the end of it after all. Now, it probably is for Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. You know, if this is if this is going to be young Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know, it's probably not going to be them.
It's got to be a new cast, yeah.
Right. So it is the end for the original actors, I guess, but not the end of The Conjuring like we thought.
We knew they were coming back.
Yeah.
The movies were coming
It made
back.
too much money. It made too much money. So look out for that next year as well. And the last piece of housekeeping I have is that Michelle Williams has officially been cast in the new Damien Chazelle film that is also starring Daniel Craig and Cillian Murphy. I know at one point in the past, I kind of that just kind of came up in passing on this podcast, that next film. We don't know the name of it still, but it's reportedly described as being set in a prison. And I think Chazelle, you know, I love Whiplash, La La Land, Babylon, and Daniel Craig, Cillian Murphy, now Michelle Williams.
Who is Michelle Williams?
She is, the first thing that always comes to mind with me is The Greatest Showman. She's in that movie. She's in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Is she?
She's in Shutter Island.
She's not the wife from Mission Impossible, is she?
Was she in that? No, that's Michelle Monaghan.
Oh, Michelle Williams. Oh, she looks super familiar.
She's in Venom. I guess that's where you would know her.
That's exactly how I know her, yeah. Oh, yeah. Out of all that, I know her from
I had to pull
Venom.
up her full filmography. I didn't I would think of Manchester by the Sea.
I've seen Shutter Island and Greatest Showman, but I don't remember her from that.
Yeah, I don't know why I always think Greatest Showman when I think of her first, but yeah, she's obvious. I mean, she's a fantastic actress. So, she's joining that cast.
Yo, in Venom, when she turns into female Venom, that was crazy. I'm not even joking, bro. Like, do you remember that? And they made Venom thick as hell for like 2 seconds. I was like,
yeah, that
was crazy.
I've still only seen the first Venom movie.
I've seen the first one and like most of the second one, and it's like whatever.
And I've seen the meme from the third one when he's like, from the end when he's like he's like looking over at the sea.
Yeah, with like the sunset.
The cam rip one of the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the meme is.
It's the song in the background. I forget the name of the song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, whatever. I'm moving on. Though that is all I had. Some housekeeping of some films that are coming up down the road that we're looking out for. So with that, why don't we talk about the Bible study film before we get too derailed? This week's Bible study film, would you like to explain what Bible study is?
Yeah, I'll do a quick explanation.
Yeah,
I'm kind of sick of saying the same shit. Okay, ready?
We don't have to. It's you're the one who's saying. Just bring it back for each clip. Just recycle
I have to
the
clip
audio.
it. Okay. So what we do, everybody listening, clipping this, what we do is that we ask the audience, the viewers, to comment a random number, and that random number is assigned to a movie that the New York Times deems essential. So we have a book that we call the Film Bible. Josh is going to show you right here. And it's the book of movies, the essential 1,000 movies to see by the New York Times. And each number from 23 to 1,265 is a random movie deemed essential to watch. So this week we watched Boat People. So we'll just review that.
You've gotten real good at that. At
Thank you,
the
man. Yeah,
explanation part of
I'm
that.
trying to make it as concise as possible.
I'm gonna check it off in my book right now. Number 147. That was the number we picked. It is Boat People. We're going to rate and review. We'll also obviously explain what the film even is, because
Yeah, because
you know.
these ones, when a new movie comes out, it's like, okay, you probably don't have to explain it. Most people do, and then it's like these movies are all. This is one of the more recent movies we've seen, and it came out in 1982. So a lot of them are really old.
Yeah, like you can't just we can't just be like, oh, what did you think of it,
Yeah, yeah.
without being like, oh, what is even going on here. And so we're gonna get into this with our, we'll give our ratings first, because that's what we always do.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll get into it. So you want to give your rating first?
I'll go first, sure. So I give Boat People 8.8 people not on boats for most of the movie out of 10.
It's true. It's true. I give it I give the film like 8.5 chicken graveyards or whatever it was out of 10.
Yeah, they call it like the chicken farm.
Chicken farm.
Yeah.
There was the graveyard and the chicken farm.
This shit was insane, dude.
Yeah, I give it 8.5 chicken farms.
I mean, basically, like a general idea of what this movie is. It's a Japanese photographer. It's a Japanese movie, and it's
a Hong Kong film.
Oh, it is a Hong Kong film. Okay,
it's a Hong Kong film.
It's a Japanese photographer who goes to post-war Vietnam. This is, I think, 3 years after the end of after the liberation of Vietnam, and he goes. He's a photojournalist, and he meets this family, and he kind of gets intertwined with this family, and notices this free Vietnam, and free in quotations, obviously, and his distaste for it, and he kind of just has to endure it to get his job, to actually do his job, and but he obviously starts to develop relationships with the family, and he starts making friends, and it's I mean, that's pretty much the general idea.
I mean, it's essentially, this photographer, he comes over from Japan, like you said, and he's there because he is filming the people of Vietnam to show that, like you said, they're free and liberated. And of course he realizes that they're not. And it's kind of his, like, you're right, he endures it, but I would also say, even because obviously we're going to talk spoilers, it's 1982.
Don't do the math. Yeah.
Yeah, not
I
on
can
the
see
spot.
your brain going, it's
what, like 40, 50, 40 some years, whatever. No, but he not only endures it, but eventually realizes that this is not really what's going on, and he wants to tell the truth. And he wants to help the people, like you said. And so what Boat People are essentially, is it's a reference to groups of Vietnamese refugees that fled the country during this oppressive regime that happened after their so-called liberation. And they would flee to other countries, that many of them on just like packed on small fish boats, and they fled looking for a better life. And so I was doing a lot of research because I didn't know a lot about this. So after I watched this film, I really wanted to learn a little more about this. And I just think it's really fascinating, that this is kind of like a secret pocket of oppression and kind of, self-liberation that exists in history that general people like you and I are just not privy to. and there's not really any mainstream films that focus on this topic. This is really the the most mainstream film, so to speak. And this is not mainstream, it's not Hollywood. This was a massive influence in the Hong Kong new wave movement of cinema, throughout the 80s and the 90s. And so it's directed by Anne Hui. um and I found it really fascinating, and I know you did as well. So,
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I think the like you said, the what I loved most about it is just the fact that like this movie exists. You know what I mean? Like we don't see things like this, and it's such like a standout movie. Like I will remember this movie. I always like forget details of all the Bible study movies sometimes. Like, what was that? Which one was that? And but this one is so memorable. Um
yeah,
and yeah, I thought it was great.
I mean, like, I was just gonna say, you're right. It's memorable. Like the one scene that I literally paused and I rewound it on the spot because I just was not expecting it. Is when they're going through like the scrapyard, him and the kids,
Oh yeah.
and the brother picks up the grenade, and he's holding it and looking at it, and then he just explodes, and it just happens. So like the violence of this film happens such in a sudden, stark contrast to a quiet moment often, and I think that is obviously very intentional.
Yeah, I mean, dude, for that scene,
I mean, it stuck out.
I looked down at my phone to check what time it was for literally a second, and I look up and the brother's dead. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I literally had to rewind. I was like, "Holy shit." There was nothing happening in the movie, and it was like, "All right, they're just doing something." I was like, "All right, what time is it?" "Oh my god, what was that?" And I look up and he's dead. I was like, "Holy shit." And
But I think
I actually had to rewind that scene too for that
I
exact reason.
well, I didn't even rewind it because I missed it necessarily. I rewound it because I was so
It's
shocked
very
by it.
shocking, yeah.
I think that there's a real, you know, like a real intention to how the fractures in the facade of this society, are slow, because we are looking at this through the perspective of an outsider. We, the viewers, are also outsiders.
It was a great
This is a
move.
very enclosed society. I mean, a lot of like modern, somewhat, like modern day a la North Korea, where the people who live there, we don't really see a lot of them, their day-to-day life, because they're not allowed to, kind of interact outside their community, their communal bubble, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so you see that represented in this, in this communist regime in Vietnam at this time. And obviously we're following along with this Japanese photographer who comes in, who's allowed to see what they let him see. And at first they're very hospitable. We're free. This is a great new era for the Vietnamese people. And those fractures that grow slowly throughout the runtime, I feel like, to show this secretive society, I just think is important. So you're right, it's slow, intentionally slow, but then you get those moments, and that's what makes it hit, because you're like, these people are only, I mean, they're just in the same exact situation that they were before, and they may or may not even realize it.
Yeah, even at the beginning, he was in an NEZ, which is a new economic zone. Is that what it
Hmm.
was? Right?
Yeah.
And he's there, and it's where they send certain people to each ones, and people get split up and put it to NEZs, and it's a great place. There's kids, there's schools, the kids are singing about how much they love Ho Chi Minh. And he leaves and then he talks to one guy. He goes, "What's wrong with those zones? I just went to one, it's beautiful." And the guy goes, "Which one did you go to?" He says, "Oh, zone 16." And he goes, "That's the one they show foreigners because that's the fake one. And the real ones are not like that." And I was like, that's like a I kind of expected that because obviously it's all for show, but it's still like, wow, this secret society. Yeah, this basically cult. I mean, singing about how much you love your president. They were saying, "I hope he lives 10,000 years." Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just insane to think that this actually existed.
Yeah. And even continues to
Yeah,
this day.
yeah.
This kind of just sheltered society that is, with heavy propaganda, is kind of, what's the right word? They're just trained. You know what I mean?
Like
They're kind of
brainwashed.
brainwashed in a sense. They're formed from their youth to believe these things. They don't know any different. You know what I mean? Because of this manipulative control that the government has over them. And, obviously we see this here where Vietnam going through this heavy war, this really insanely traumatic and deadly war, and they're supposedly liberated, and they're not. You know what I mean? They continue to suffer. It just has a different mask, and I think it just shows the ugly side to power and the repetitiveness in history with that. And I think this film really is impressive in the way it showcases it. It's not a film, the kind of film you enjoy. You know what I mean? But it's the kind of film that you understand. And I feel like I do.
One of the biggest things that stood out to me was the chicken farms that you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
I When I was watching this movie, I was like, okay, the daughter, like that family, I was like, this is kind of a normal family. Like they understand that the oppression is there. Like they're not brainwashed. I was like, this is a normal family. They live the way they need to live. And then the daughter starts digging through dead bodies and blood all over her hands at the chicken farm at like a second after these people get executed. And I was like, oh shit, like it gets to everybody. I was like, this is crazy that these people that I thought were probably the most normal people here are doing the most like something that's super fucked up, but just because they think that's what they need to do to survive.
Well, and again, I mean, you're right, because like what even is normal? Like that's comparing it to obviously our.
Right. But even the Japanese guy was like, what the fuck? Like,
Right, because to him, that's not normal either.
yeah.
But they have lived, I mean, they went through the oppression that they faced in the bloodshed of the Vietnam War. And so you have to imagine that them as a people at this point are so conditioned to it. And I think that was what I was
100%.
looking for before. They're so conditioned to it, and they're just so used to it. Even when you're young, like this is all the life they know. This is their normal. And I think that that is what he tries like so hard. The main character, whose name is Shiomi Akutagawa, Shiomi, like this is what he tries to reckon with, throughout the runtime of this film, is comparing that this is their normal. Like they will, like, it's not that they don't want to be free, it's that they just don't even have the energy anymore to be free,
She even
just
brings
try
that
to free
little her little
themselves.
baby
I mean,
brother
they
to the thing,
try.
to the chicken farm.
Yeah,
She literally
because
says like he always gone multiple times, and he's like 2 years old.
I think that's what eventually compels him to, end up, I mean, even like I said, spoiler, sacrificing his own life to free them.
Uh
Obviously
huh.
that wasn't his intention to sacrifice his life, but he's desperate to free them in the end. You know what I mean? Because um they're kids, and he knows that there's a better life out there for them, and that this shouldn't be their normal, and that that's the humanity that we get to see in this film that I think is inspirational.
What did you think of the stuff with the mom?
Like, with the whole her being a hooker. I mean, again, I think that that was supposed to show, like, an outlet of the struggles, in this life.
Yeah,
And
and
obviously
just
it
her
hurt.
suicide.
It's tragic, and I mean, it's brutal.
It was
It's
crazy,
it's brutal,
out of
it's
nowhere.
but it is out of nowhere, but it's again, it's like you're right with the violence that comes out of nowhere after like these moments of calm, or I mean, that wasn't necessarily a moment of calm. She was getting arrested, and she was being forced to confront her family and the whole community.
Yeah,
Um, but I think it's just this. It shows this true desperation and this true um, sacrifice that the people felt they needed to make, like you said, to survive, to get through the day. And she couldn't bear to face what, to based on what their lifestyle, obviously that was not acceptable,
yeah.
at that time, to engage in sex work. And so for her, culturally, she's like, how am I supposed to face my family and my loved ones in my community? She had right moral reasons, but will they ever look at her the same again? And even if they do, will she ever, think that? Or, I mean, just, is that even something she'll even ponder because of the oppression? There's just so much nuance to it. And I think that that's really what made the film fascinating.
those poor kids, bro, are scarred. They literally were like, I'm sure they'd rather their mom be an alive hooker than kill herself right in front of
Oh,
all of them. Like,
absolutely,
dude,
absolutely.
how fucked up is that she slits her throat in front of all of her kids?
Oh, it was horrific. That's what I'm saying.
Insane, dude.
I mean, I don't disagree. Of course, the kids would rather, but this is also like her mindset compared to, like the government's
Yeah, no, she was
mindset.
like,
You know what I
fuck
mean?
those
Like,
kids, bro.
oh my God. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. I mean, and that's what I say. Like, when you go into this film, you know, and this is why I wasn't sure how you were going to engage with it, truthfully,
Okay.
because this is, like I said before, this is not something to enjoy. This is not something that's meant for entertainment or anything like that, in my opinion. It is meant to, yeah, educate, but just to bring awareness and shed light. You know what I mean? Elevate a voice to a platform.
And I was
Um,
entertained too. I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen with these people?
Right. I think you know what I mean by that, though. Just like
Yeah, you're not like hyped up. You're not like
right. This doesn't
excited.
have the like. This film doesn't have those kind of bombastic cinematic elements. It is certainly a well-made film. I think Anne Huy's shot selection, her setup with her mise en scène was incredible. You know what I mean in terms of portraying the visual aspects of the narrative. But with that said, it lacks that modern day or even at that time the big Hollywood elements. I just wasn't sure how you would interact with it, and I am pleasantly surprised. I had seen your rating before. I don't know your like ranking of it. I didn't look at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Well,
I
you know what?
don't
It
know.
kind of reminded me of I'm Still Here. Remember that Brazilian
Yes,
film that came out
yes,
last year or 2
yeah,
years ago?
yeah.
Um,
2024.
Very similar, like wow, this is impactful, this is important, but it's not something you're like, can't wait to see that again. You know, it's like I'm never gonna watch those movies again. Like I'm never seeing this again. Like it's fucked up, but it's like you need to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right because it sheds light on these areas of the world that the general public doesn't know enough about. And of course, they are in most cases fictional narratives.
Uh-huh.
They're not documentaries. I mean, sometimes you're watching a documentary, that's the case, but most of the time what it does is it prompts you to take a step further on your own, hopefully, and maybe do a little research, learn read accounts from real boat people. These are real people who lived, who experienced these things. This isn't a fairy tale. So kind of learning, watching their accounts of their experiences, and comparing that to the film. Like I think having the film inspires someone to do that. And that's why when you ever have conversations where people are like, how historically accurate is this or that, I think the real question, Jack, should be how historically respectful is it? Because,
Yeah.
obviously accuracy goes in line with that. You can't bend it too much to be disrespectful. But sometimes if you take certain small liberties, most films do take small liberties to translate to the big screen, to make it narratively work, so to speak. What's important is the awareness that you are shedding on the topic so that the audience goes and does and learns about it, hopefully, or you know what I mean? Just at least knows more. So that's my opinion on that. That's the more important question when it comes to the historical accuracy of these
I agree
films.
with that.
Obviously, I don't know how truly historically accurate this film is. I was reading there was some like fucking Reddit forums where people were debating it all the
Of
live long
course they
day.
were.
But regardless, I now know about this. You now know about this, and now people at home listening to this now know about it. So that stands for something.
Where does it fit in your rankings for Bible study films?
How many have we seen? 12
I think that
now.
yeah, it was the 12th one.
I don't know. It's either 7th or 8th. I currently have it sitting at 8, but I could flip flop it with what's in 7th. So I mean, it's tough. Everything above that, I do think I like more. Some of this, this film, I had a little bit of like things with personal resonating with characters compared to rather I just empathized with them. But that's semantics that aren't really important. That's why I didn't focus in on it. But that's
Mhm.
why I have it where I have it.
I have it at number 1. Um,
Number
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Wow.
This is the only movie I've rated above 4 stars. I gave it 4.5 on
Oh,
Letterboxd.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well,
It
I
just
saw the rating, but I didn't know that that's the only one.
yeah, I
I
liked
never
it better
realized
than
that.
Being John Malkovich, which was at number
Wow.
1.
Okay. No, you know what though? Like I respect it. I absolutely respect it. I think we've seen a bunch of films that if you were like, if this was number one for one way or another, I could be like, okay.
Yeah, there's
But
only a couple where I'd be like, "Are you serious?"
yeah, there's like maybe four of them, maybe 4 or 5, where I'd be like, that's your favorite of
I
these.
know.
And the other like 6, 7, 8, whatever, I'd be like, yeah, no, this makes total sense. I can see that. And Boat People's one of them. I can totally see how that would be someone's favorite. It is an incredible, important piece of cinema for sure.
Yeah, I think everyone should go watch it. If you could find it somewhere, go watch it.
Yeah, it is not an easily accessible film.
Mm,
It is on the Criterion channel though. So if
saw
you
that.
have access to the Criterion channel, that is the easiest way I would say for someone to find it these days. But that is Boat People. Definitely go watch it. That is a great film. Thank you to whoever commented the number. Please keep commenting numbers.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
got a
pick a
lot to
new
go
one.
through, but we'll get to them.
We want more though. We want more to go through, and
Yeah,
we're
because this was
gonna
such a good experience, bro. Like, this is my favorite one, so I'll just hype it up even more. Like, um,
go for it,
I mean,
man.
I mean, like, I would never have seen this movie without whoever commented that. I would never have had this favorite movie without someone commenting that. So comment numbers. We'll watch the movie. We'll let you know if it's good or bad, and then you can watch it. If you don't want to watch a movie, let us comment a number. We'll watch it. We'll do it for you.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. At the end of the day, is we're here to watch things so you don't have to. You
Yeah,
only
exactly.
watch
We
what
watch
will,
them and we talk about them, and you
and
listen.
then now you'll like, hell, shit, I've basically seen Boat People now.
Yeah,
But no,
you guys know all
you should
about it.
go watch it. No, I love this segment. I mean, this might be my favorite thing that we do on the
It's
podcast.
really good.
I love it.
Mhm.
All right. So that is the Bible study. We are going to move right along, and that'll bring us to this week's box office numbers.
This week's box office numbers.
Your box.
Your box.
All right. Let's go over the box office numbers for the weekend of January 16th through the 18th. The holiday weekend, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, as we sort of got into at the beginning, in a way. I'm going over just the 3-day weekend numbers for the most part, but I'll touch on a little bit on the holiday in this case. But it's important to note that with people having the day off, that takes into account.
Uh-huh.
In fifth place, in its fifth weekend of release, making another $5.4 million, is Marty Supreme. So the Timothy Chalamet film doing supremely well, I guess. Ha ha ha.
Good
In fourth
one.
place, in its fifth weekend of release as well, making another $8.5 million, is The Housemaid. We covered it last week. I think it is getting a sequel. It is doing pretty well for that film. In third place, this is where it really gets interesting with the box office numbers. In its eighth weekend of release, making another $8.7 million domestically, is Zootopia 2.
Of course.
So I want to pause on this one for a second, just to say that Zootopia 2 now has officially become the highest grossing Disney animated film ever. It is at $1.7 billion worldwide. 1.7. That is crazy. That breaks the record by Frozen 2. It is which was 1.45. Zootopia 2 has made $600 million in China alone.
That's
So
crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's crazy.
it's huge
It's
over there.
huge.
In comparison, Zootopia 2 domestically has made 393 million here.
Yeah, that's a huge
So
difference. Obviously, China has the population to do that, but
so do we. It's that market specifically. It has been huge. It has boosted it. Of course, it does have but
Zootropolis.
Zootopia Land, I think, is what it is.
No, but they call it Zootropolis in other countries.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy. Yeah, at the
I didn't
press
know that.
tours and stuff, it says Zootropolis on it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, not only all that, but Zootopia 2 is now the second highest grossing animated film of all time. The only film that it trails is Neja 2,
Oh
speaking
yeah,
of
Neja
China,
too.
which I know that crossed 2 billion when it was out.
I heard that
So
movie's
that's it.
gas.
Yeah, so that's it. Zootopia 2 is in second place all time
You think they're
animated.
gonna extend its theater action that's going on? You think
The
they'll keep it in?
theatrical run
Yeah,
of Zootopia 2,
yeah. I mean, what is it? Eighth weekend? You said it's gonna come out
it's in the
soon.
eighth weekend. There's not really much coming out in the next few weeks that I think would even,
But I feel
you
like they might pull
know,
it. They should pull it soon based on how long it is. But I think they might keep it going.
that doesn't matter. I mean, films have gone on for a long time. It's only had a 12.3% drop from last weekend to this weekend. I mean, I could see it going on for another 3-4 weeks. With a strong run here. Let me pull. What's even coming out that can? I mean, it also has to be similar. Like, Mercy's coming out. That's not the same audience.
No, no, no.
28 Years Later is not the same audience.
Absolutely not.
Wuthering Heights doesn't even come out until February 13th. That's not even really the same audience either.
I just wonder: is there a world where it makes that 300 million and hits the 2 billion mark?
I don't see why it can't make 2 billion. I don't see what is going to compete with it soon. So I don't see why it can't continue to have strong legs as long as they keep it out. I mean,
Cool.
because families can just keep going back
Yeah,
over and over.
why
Bring the
not?
kids. Let's see Zootopia 2 again. None of these other films in the box office, save for maybe Avatar, really even compete with the same audience, the same bracket that they're going for. That's the
As
family and the kids in Zootopia 2.
as we're talking right now, my girlfriend is at Zootopia 2.
Is she actually?
Yeah.
Really?
She's
Has
seen
she
it for
seen
a
it
second
before?
time, yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. It has the legs,
Yeah.
man. It has the legs. Your girlfriend is proof of that.
There you go.
So I would not be surprised to see it get that 2 billion. In second place, ahead of Zootopia 2, in its opening weekend of release, making $13 million, is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Talking about this one a little bit as well, this is actually going to fall short of its original projections of $20 million. So 13 million is short of the 20 million that was projected. It does make about 15 million approximately with the Monday, with the Martin Luther King holiday.
Okay.
But 28 Years Later, last June, opened to $30 million opening weekend, and that finished at 151 million worldwide. So this is a noticeable step down from that first film. And this is a planned trilogy. There is a third one that is supposed to come out. So it does raise some concerns of if they are going to finish the trilogy, if they think it's financially viable. I don't see why it's not. And it is a great film, the strong word of mouth, great ratings. We'll get into that, but
In a popular franchise, yeah, it could definitely.
right.
Yeah.
So definitely a step down. I personally think the January release is part of it. I mean, this is just not a great time of year for films this month. So, and it didn't have super strong marketing, I don't think. So, anyway. In first place, unsurprisingly, in its fifth weekend, but only narrowly beating out 28 Years Later, making $13.3 million more dollars, is Avatar, Fire, and Ash, maintaining that top spot 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But some other unfortunate box office news is it's kind of unlikely that Fire and Ash now is going to hit $2 billion at this trajectory.
What's it at now?
It is currently at $1.3 billion worldwide,
Yeah.
367 million domestically. For reference, the first Avatar, $2.92 billion, and then the Avatar Way of Water, $2.33 billion. This is at 1.3 after 5 weeks.
It's not. I don't think it's gonna hit.
It took 18 days alone for it to make $1 billion, which is noticeably slower than the first two. I think current projections now have it at like somewhere between 1.5 and 1.7 billion dollars. And look, I mean,
I know James Cameron will be like, "Oh, if we don't make the money, we're not gonna make another movie." But is he going by everyone else's standards or his standards for an Avatar movie? You know
I'm
what I mean?
assuming he's his own standards, and it's like. It's funny, the film is still profitable by far. It's
1.7 billion or whatever it is, 1.3 billion. It's still an insane amount of money. Like,
I
that's
mean,
a very
its budget
successful
was like
movie.
$400 million. You know what I
It's a
mean?
very
Like,
successful movie.
incredibly successful. It's stupid that we even have to refer to it in a negative light here. It's only making. It's just
it only made 1.5 billion.
We talked about this before. He has 4 straight billion-dollar films in the box office: Titanic and then 3 Avatar films, and the other 2. I mean, the first one almost made $3 billion, and if he ever re-releases it, it's very well possible that it does.
Yeah.
You know, and Way of Water, $2.3 billion. Like, it is a noticeable step down. Are they going to do 4 and 5?
I think they're done. They're gonna make a 4th one, but I wonder if it'll even hit like 1.5 billion. I mean,
Yeah,
this
but
is
here's the thing.
the Jurassic World lineage. You could see the descent of the box office.
Right. But here's the thing about that. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, The Way of Water and Fire and Ash are kind of like 2 halves of like a whole story.
Yeah, I
And
totally
Fire and
think
Ash,
that, yeah.
and I can see that. I agree. It's been described by Jim Cameron like that, but he also said that 4 and 5 are like that. So it's either, I feel like they either have to stop now or they have to finish it, because if they do 4, you know, they are probably going to be in the middle of a story that they would need to do 5. So it's either like, this is like almost like a very monumental moment in the road for this franchise. Are we done or are we not done?
And then I think if 4 and 5 are made, do not expect a 6th one unless they get they lead to a 6th one.
Well, James Cameron, well, no, because he wouldn't be directing any more after that if he even directs 4 and 5.
Yeah,
and I know it's been teased that he would maybe not. You know,
really,
maybe not if he really wants to do the Ghosts of Hiroshima film instead.
We'll see.
So, you know, that would be sick. But right now, Avatar's still in that top spot. It's still a very profitable, very successful, one of the most successful films of 2025. So congratulations, Avatar, top spot.
Let me ask you this real quick while we're talking
Sure.
about Avatar's ending.
No, I'm with it.
Super off topic, but do you think, because I'm just thinking I really want a solid ending from this franchise. Like, I don't think if it ends at 3, it's an ending, but it's not the ending that I want. Do you think if Quaritch has a redemption arc by the 5th movie, that would be like a top cinematic TV show redemption arc of all characters? Like up there with Zuko?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it'd be number 1, but it would be up there.
I mean, think so too.
You know, especially like when you go back, and I haven't gone back to rewatch the first one, the first Avatar, since The Way of Water came out. But after, you know, when around Fire and Ash, I was looking at some clips from the first one. I mean, just the sheer, even by Fire and Ash, you know, he's even teasing that, you know, potential at redemption. I just love what they're doing with his character.
He's easily, to me, the most interesting thing about these movies right now. And I want to see his continuation. My biggest reason for wanting another movie is to see what they do with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So we'll see. I don't see any reason why this should be a disappointment, even though it's less than what they've made in the past. But we'll see.
Yeah, and that's not really telling of Avatar. It could just be telling of movies. I mean, all these movies are besides Zootopia too. It seems like sequels these days just make less money. Like, that just seems like the trend.
Well, and except for animation, because Inside Out 2 made like...
Oh yeah, and Frozen 2.
And Frozen 2.
Well, maybe it's live action stuff.
Inside Out 2 also made like about 1.7, but I think
Moana 2 didn't.
Moana 2 was fucking
ass.
Fucking cheeks.
Yeah.
Not good. So, that felt like one of those like early 2000s, like or late 90s, straight to DVD sequels.
Yeah, like straight to home video.
Fucking Mulan 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lion King
1.5.
1.5, yeah.
Lilo and Stitch 2 and 3, or whatever they're called. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
Jafar goes to the eye doctor. 4 or 5? Can I see 4 again? 4 and 5. Yeah,
Dude, what are you
4.
referencing right now?
You don't remember that?
Is that from Leland's wait, what is that from, what is it called, Aladdin?
That's yeah, you know Jafar from Aladdin?
Yeah, but he's, like, in the second one.
Yeah, they made a joke in Family Guy once that they were like about the Disney sequels where they're
Yeah.
like, "Yo, Aladdin 4, Jafar goes to the eye
I thought you
doctor."
were making that up. I thought it
And
was so good.
Jafar's sitting like at the eye doctor doing the test, and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
1 or 2, and he's like 4 or 5,
That's
and
so good.
Jafar's like, can I see 4 again? And he goes 4 or 5.
That is so good. I literally thought you were making that up, and then you kept going. I was like, wait, this has to be a reference to something.
No, 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 no. Dude. I wish I was that good on the
That would
spot.
be so good.
I'm not bad on the spot, but I'm not that good on the
That
spot.
would be peak.
All right. Let's move on to the new release of the year.
Yeah.
You see the poster in the back hanging up on the refrigerator. That is the Bone Zone, baby. We're going to the Bone Zone.
That's your bedroom.
Yeah, man. That's what I have it like on a sign, like a neon sign, and it's just like
Yeah.
you are now entering the Bone Zone, and it's like the lights going like that.
I love it.
28 years later, the Bone Temple, the direct follow up to last year's 28 years later, not even a year later. So these people had to wait 28 years. We don't even have to wait a full year to get the
Imagine
sequel, the
that.
direct sequel. Let me give my ratings and I guess non-spoiler review, because Jack, I really want you to get into this franchise. I don't know if you've seen any of these films
None of
before,
them.
but
But I will. I'm
it
not
is so
against it.
cool. It is so cool. There's not a lot of them. There's 4,
Yeah.
with a 5th one hopefully coming out, and that's
Mhm.
probably it. So, all right, I give this film 9 train tickets out of 10. Probably like 9.2 train tickets out of
Damn, dude.
10. It's crazy that they just stuck this in January. Like they just tucked it in the shitty month of the year where no one goes to the movies. This could be one of my favorites of the year already. Like it could be up there. It is insane. I loved the first 28 years later. On my year ranking though, where did it even finish? It did drop down to 16. It was top 20. I loved it though. All right. It was a great movie. This is a really interesting franchise. So this is the direct follow-up where we focus on the Ray Fine character, Dr. Ian Kelson, and the Jack O'Connell character, Sir Jimmy Crystal. Um, I'll say as much as it's, we also see the follow-up of the character who, it's interesting, he's not even the focus of this one. He in the first movie we focus on Spike. He is this kid who lives on an island that is like an isolated community away from the infections, right? Because basically so Jack, like the infection in this world is like this rage virus,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I only remember that from your review of 28 Years Later.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're kind of isolated there. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he plays his dad. Jodie Comer is the mom. She, has issues. He takes him out, blah, blah, blah. Spike is who we focus on. And this, second film is kind of, without giving any spoilers, the best way I can describe it is, we see him kind of, dealing with the consequences of his decisions in the first film, and it kind of takes the form of a horror version of a coming of age story, really,
Damn.
of this kid. But he is not the main focus of the second film like the first film. Instead, the main focus is Ian Kelson and Jimmy Crystal, and their separate stories and how they end up converging, and their kind of interactions with faith, with science, and with their reality that they live in. It is super, super entertaining. It is directed by Nia DaCosta, so it's not Danny Boyle, who did the original film and then 28 years. And, what Danny Boyle is really known for in this franchise is his frenetic filmmaking, very frenetic and kinetic. But just kind of the way originally the first 28 Days Later film was filmed on a camcorder, and 28
Yeah, I heard
years
about that.
later was filmed on iPhones.
Yeah.
And he does that because it really kind of creates this unsettling environment, and it works. But Nia DaCosta, she's taking the middle portion of this trilogy. She's taking a more tender part of the story. So it requires a bit more, in my opinion, of that stabilized filmmaking, so that we can get a better sense of these characters, and instead of this unsettlement of the world. Not to mention, the changing of the perspectives from the first film, from the original film to the first film to um, this film. The first film, it's a guy coming out of a coma. He has no idea what happened to the world, so obviously everything's unsettled. And then the 28. I'm skipping over weeks because no one cares about that movie. 28
And
years
they skipped over
later,
months.
months doesn't exist. Yeah,
No, yeah,
I
they just skipped
always.
over months.
Yeah, there's no 28 months.
Wow.
28 weeks later is kind of, I mean, I don't think it's bad, but it's not really connected to the rest of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 28, years later is from a kid's perspective. So obviously he's kind of learning the world. He leaves the island to go to the mainland for the first time, experiences what this is like, and obviously in this one, we're from adults who have been living in this reality already for a long time. So
Is
it's a different perspective.
is Ray Fiennes a villainous character?
Um, no,
Okay, because
not
from seeing the trailers from he's in 28 Years Later, right?
yes.
I thought he was a villain in that movie from just what I heard or seeing the trailers or whatever. Because, dude, that guy is Voldemort and he's playing a young version of President Snow in the new Hunger Games. And if he's the villain in this, like, at what point, how many great villains do you have to play until you're like in the conversation with like Giancarlo Esposito or something like that? Like,
I mean,
who's just known for playing villains.
I already think he is, but I mean, also Ray Fiennes has done way more than villainous roles too. I think, and so is Giancarlo Esposito, but not in a long time.
Yeah.
But you're right, and then even like The Menu, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, he plays a great villain in The Menu. Like you just know an actor, and you're like, they're good at other stuff, but they're also great villains.
He's a great villain. He's not always a villain, and I know he can do others. It's complicated. It's a semi-spoiler to say no for 28 years later.
Okay.
So I apologize.
No, it's fine.
But
I don't care.
It's not like a full spoiler. It's just like a semi-spoiler.
Okay. And he was great in Conclave, not a villain.
And what's interesting too is because Conclave is a year apart from, or maybe a little over a year apart from 28 years. And I find it interesting because in that role, he's playing Father Lawrence, right? And he, is a man of faith. And in this one, he's playing, a man of science in a world where fear has, and that's like even the tagline, but it is a true message. Like fear has become the new faith in this world, and so, seeing him on these opposite ends of that spectrum of like playing these characters that are almost somewhat burdened with the challenge, the notion of challenging faith one way or another, it is such a stark but really cool contrast from Fiennes, Ray Fiennes. So he's incredible in this, by the way. In the
cool,
Bone
man.
Temple,
yeah, I have zero doubts about that.
He is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hands down. Every time he's on screen, it is so incredible. And I so badly wish I could talk about his storyline in this movie, because I think a lot of people will like the first 28 Years Later more because it is that original, hectic, kinetic filmmaking style. There's more action in that movie for sure. But there is just such a real slowed down sensitivity. And this film also really opens up the wider lore finally of like where I don't like losing lore, because this franchise isn't necessarily about lore, but it does finally open up the some of the ideas that they are going to play with continuing down the line. You just see moments in this one that I think are the best moments of the franchise too, where it's just it's so incredible, and like literally had me like jumping in my seat in the theater. I'm just like, wow, like, oh my God. hooting and hollering, like, it is just, I don't know. I mean, they're very close to me in terms of which one I like more. I assume that's a question you'd inevitably ask.
Well, I was gonna ask you, can you give us your ranking of the whole franchise, the
Sure.
28 Days Later franchise?
I mean, it's just the 4 films. The worst one I think is 28 Weeks, then 28 Days. Some people will still put Days at number 1 because it's the original. I think it's a really great film. I think it's super solid. But then I think you'll agree, you'll be like, this is good. But when you watch these 2 new ones, you're like, they're operating on a different level here. It's like not really even close to me, in my opinion. And then I have Bone Temple at 1 and 28 Years Later at 2. It's close. I'm playing around with swapping it. I want to rewatch 28 Years Later. Um it's just like I said with the Bone Temple, I love, like, people. I think Nia DaCosta brings a really interesting outside take, a fresh look into this franchise. It's a little bit more of a standard, stabilized filmmaking approach, but I think for this chapter, we're really getting the most dynamic ideas at play about, like, what this infection really is. That's as far
Yeah.
as I can even go with it, is like what this really is, what is life, and like what future can we have. You know what I mean? For the first time, those are ideas that these characters can finally play around with. And on the flip side, it is still so gruesome, and Jimmy Crystal and the Jimmies, and everything going on with their group, and their task that they set out to accomplish. It's so, I mean, violating, but so entertaining. There may not be quite as much zombie action in this one, and I love that about the first one, and the ending to the first one before the Jimmies is great. But what's really great about it? I'll close it with this. The first movie, a lot of people complained about the ending because it was definitely like a very sudden, and it almost didn't make sense.
28 days or years?
Years,
Okay.
years. But with the Bone Temple, the 2 movies work so well now in tandem. It's one of those cases of, like, almost like Dune with Dune 2. 28 Years Later's ending is no longer, like, random and weird, because
Uh-huh.
now it's like that continues into the next one. They work as a set, and I think it boosts both films. So my opinion right now is I prefer the Bone Temple. If you ask me that question in 6 months, I may say 28 Years. I may say no. Right now, I do think I like the unique style more, and Spike's story more. The kid Spike, but right now the Bone Temple is my favorite. But oh man, the both of them, just, I love it. I love what
It's
they're doing. I think you should watch it. I think everyone at home should watch it. Go see this in theaters because it should make more money.
it's kind of nice when you watch a movie and it makes, not only is it good, but now other movies are better. Like, that's
Right.
kind of cool.
I mean, that's always the biggest concern when you have a movie that's meant to be like 2 or 3, in a
Yeah.
set, and now you're like, and it leaves off on that cliffhanger, and you're like, oh, like, is that going to work? Because if they don't nail it in the next movie, you're going to look back at this one. It doesn't mean it's bad, but now it doesn't, you know what I mean? It lessens it because it was relying on the continuation of the story.
Yeah.
This doesn't, this does rely on the continuation of the story, but it works. And so, I love it. I hope they make the third one, because they're doing that again, where they kind of rely on the, not as much as the first end of the first, but there is they leave off with a really exciting moment. I'm so looking forward to the third and final film, which will be directed by Danny Boyle once again, taking
Okay,
over.
cool.
So
Um, all right, nice.
that's the Bone Temple. That's the Bone Zone. Everyone go to the Bone Zone.
I'm gonna, yeah, I definitely gotta check that series out. I'm gonna review The Rip real quick. Like, literally, I don't have much to say about this. The Rip is the new Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie that just came out on Netflix. This is gonna be spoiler free. I give it 6 rips out of 10. And you might think that's boring, but the amount of times they say rip in this fucking movie is actually insane. It's got to be like 1,000 times they
Maybe
say
Netflix
rip.
gave them like a quota with it. I
Maybe.
just want to say, did you see Matt Damon real quick before you get into your review?
What?
speaking of that, Matt Damon was like, "Yeah, Netflix. Like when you make a Netflix movie, you have to like explain the plot like 6 or 7 times in the script because they know they want that's like a thing they want because they're operating of like, oh, people are on their phones while they're watching."
Yeah, yeah. Just people are dumb.
I just thought that was funny.
No, that
Anyway,
makes total sense because they say rip. So a rip is basically when police or detectives go into a home and they extract drugs or money or people from, so they're basically ripping it from the house, like they're taking it out. And the rip is that they find a house, a drug house with like 30 like $40 million in it or whatever it was, and it's like, oh shit, like the cartel's gonna want this. Who here can we trust that might steal it? Now it might be a dirty cop might steal it, the cartel might roll up on us because they know the money's here if they see that we're here. So it's pretty suspenseful actually. But dude, it's also so boring. I I I watched it because you told me about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They pushed Netflix to give their crew bonuses based on how well the movie does, how many people watch it. So I was like, you know what, I'll watch it. I gave it a chance. I'm sure people will love it. Like I can see why people will love it. I love seeing Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together. They're not together the way you want them to be together. They're not really friends in this movie. They're just kind of like both there. You know, I feel like if you get these people together for the first time in 30, 40 years, whatever it is, you want them to be buddies, you know? Like you want like
yeah, well, I mean, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino certainly aren't buddies in Heat, but it doesn't mean that their
okay.
chemistry doesn't work.
Yeah, but their chemistry does not work in this movie. I don't
Okay,
think
okay.
like
No, that's fair. That's fair.
and it's a whole thing with their characters, so it's not to spoil anything. So it's there's mysteries to each of their characters, so like that does give way to why at some points they like each other, at some points they don't like each other, blah blah blah. Um but yeah, it's not. Steven Yeun is in this movie, and he is great. He is
Oh,
so
I didn't
great in
know
this
that.
movie. He's probably my favorite character in the movie. Kyle Chandler's in it. He's okay. He's not really in it that much, but um, Taya Leone. No, no. What's her name? What's the girl's name from One Battle After Another?
Teyana Taylor.
Teyana Taylor. Taya Leone's the girl. She's a white lady. I don't know. I don't know her.
Yeah,
She's in
that's
Jurassic Park 3. They're named.
yeah.
They have similar names. Teyana Taylor's in it. Uh, Great cast. Just I don't know how you made this movie so boring. I just don't. I
How
just don't get
long
it.
is it?
Like hour 50.
Hmm.
So it's not the worst in the world, but it's just kind of boring. I don't. Not nothing happens, and not even the suspense starts. Like it's all build up and all of them re-explaining what a rip is for probably the first
Well, there
40,
you go.
probably the first 40 minutes of the movie. I don't think a single thing happens until 40 minutes into the movie. And then it's like, okay, now it's kind of getting a little interesting. And then like 20 minutes later, like, and now it's back to boring. Like,
That's literally what Matt Damon said. He was like, "Yeah, we have to explain it like six or
I
seven
know,
times in the
dude. It
script."
was 40 to 50 minutes of the movie is them explaining it. And there's twists and there's turns and they do them so poorly, in my opinion. Uh, there's this big thing that happens and it's like, okay, that could have been cool if it made any sense and if you weren't leaving me the whole time going like, what the fuck is this? Like you don't understand it once you watch the movie. I can't explain it without saying what it is, but I just didn't enjoy it. I thought the movie was fine, but the ending was pretty bad and the setup was pretty bad. The middle was pretty interesting, suspenseful. I was on the edge of my seat for a couple minutes, but besides that, I just expected more from Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I really wanted more of a better reunion between the two. I think this movie would have worked really well if it was like The Accountant. Have you seen The Accountant?
No, I have not actually.
The Accountant 2, I don't want to spoil anything, but him and his brother are in The Accountant 2. And they work together. They like these secret agents that are working together, doing all this crazy shit. And it's like, whoa, that's awesome. I wish the Matt Damon Ben Affleck relationship was kind of like that in this movie because it would have been really cool to see them as like a team, like unified. But the whole thing is like no one trusts each other. Oh, who's going to take the money? Blah blah blah. So they're always against each other. But I don't know. Didn't love it. So that's all I got to say about the Rip. If you
What'd you
want to
rate
check
it
it out,
again?
I gave it a
6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it had some suspenseful on the edge moments,
Huh.
but most of it is boring setup and then not great payoff. But
How
you
were the
know,
action sequences? Were they at least?
There was two action sequences, I think. There was
Oh
one like
God.
towards the end and then one at the end. Um the last one was pretty good, and then the one in the middle was okay. It's kind of just like Steven Yeun and Matt Damon running down the street, like shooting at people that are trying to
Well,
kill them. Like that's it.
I still plan to watch it at some point soon, just for the workers who I want to help contribute to their bonus. But
Yeah, that's the only reason I it didn't look super interesting, but I was like, oh fuck it, I'll
yeah,
watch it.
yeah. All right.
But yeah, go honestly, everyone go check out The Rip. I saw a comment on one of our TikToks that was like, this girl, she was like, I have it on Netflix nonstop playing like the whole like for 2 days in my house. She's like, it's probably played like 30 times. And
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
honestly, I respect it. Like that's really, really cool. Just to do your part. I mean, it's it, people probably think of it, they're like, oh, they're in the movie industry. Like why do I have to do my part so they get paid? But these people work hard and they don't get the recognition they deserve. Just if you want to watch a movie and you want to turn your brain off for 2 hours, just turn it on. It's on Netflix. I don't think it's great, but I think there's definitely something there for somebody. I think there's even a chance you might love it. Like there these movies. This movie could be loved by people. I'm just not one of those people.
Fair enough. Not everything is for everybody, and you can't
Exactly.
please everyone. Alrighty. Well, moving on to one other quick movie review of a new release. This came out late last year, and that is the film No Other Choice, the new Park Chan-wook film. He's notable for, I'm sure you've heard of Old Boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic and horrific film. Um, and he also did that TV show with Robert Downey Jr. a couple years ago, The Sympathizer.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Anyway, fantastic filmmaker. And he comes out with this new film, so I'll give my ratings and non-spoiler review, and I'll explain a little bit of what it is. So I give this film like a nice 8.6 paper workers out of 10. Basically, this film, it's hilarious, by the way. It's about this worker who is laid off from his job, and he like working at a paper mill.
Was it Dunder Mifflin? The
That's what
hell is
I
this?
said. I literally was like, this guy should have just gotten a job at Dunder Mifflin. It would
Should
have
just move
saved
to
him so
Pennsylvania.
it would have actually saved him so much time instead of the fucking shenanigans he pulled in this movie.
Okay.
But basically he is trying to reclaim dignity. He's trying to get another job. And he sees an opening for another job, and he's trying to contend with the other candidates for the job, as I guess where I'll leave it at.
I've seen the trailer, so I know what you mean by contend, I
Oh,
think.
okay. So I'll say he tries to kill off the other
Yeah.
applicants for
In
the
the
job.
trailer, at least, he has like a potted plant and he holds it over a bridge and it like lands on some guy's head or
Yeah.
something.
Basically, he pulls out a scheme where he is trying to get a job at this other paper mill company, and he's like, how many people am I going to have to compete against? Because I guess his application is inferior, or he feels like it's inferior, instead of just doing an interview.
Getting fired
So
is probably not good for your
resume,
no, what is that called? When you feel good about yourself, your
pride?
confidence. No, there's one
Your
word where you're like
self-esteem.
self-esteem. Yeah, it's probably
That's
not
not
good for
one
your
word,
self-esteem.
you idiot. That's two words.
There's a dash in there.
Okay. Anyway, that's why it's called No Other Choice, because he feels he has no other choice. This is the only way that he can save his family, and because they're going to sell off the house, and they had to give up their dogs, which was such a sad scene.
Oh, dude, I'm not watching that.
Nah, I mean the movie's hilarious. Lee Byung-hun, who is the main star, he is great. I mean, this has got to be one of the best performances of 2025. He's not gonna get nominated for the Oscar. We're gonna talk about Oscars in a little bit, but he should. I mean, he should be in the conversation. He's so good in this movie. He's in Squid Game, by the way.
I know he's the bad guy in Squid Game.
He is the game master in Squid Game.
Real quick sidebar. My friend my friend Ryan, lives in LA, and he went to the movies and he saw No Other Choice. And guess who comes out at the end of the movie and says, "Hey, what's up, guys?" This guy, the Squid Game guy, Lee.
Oh, that's
what his name is. He
it's
comes
Lee
out,
Byung-hun.
Lee Byung-hun, and he does a whole Q&A with the audience, and I think the director might have been there too. But isn't that crazy? Just living in LA and this guy just goes to a random movie theater and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go
Happens in
see it."
LA and less often in New York City.
I know. I
Those
was so
are
jealous though. I love that guy.
like I said, I was still mad that I went to the show and one day after Timothy Chalamet was
That's so crazy,
at
dude.
the AMC Lincoln Square because I would have seen him there. That would have been so cool.
What a shock. That would have been so insane.
But no, Park Chan Wook is always cooking with the craziest gas in his movies, and especially so in this. You know, he has these really cool like dissolves and transitions and things that he plays with on the screen and the shots, and it is just so unlike anything else that no one else is doing right now in Hollywood or
Yeah.
outside of Hollywood. And Lee Byung Hun, he's so energetic and exciting. It's such a funny script, so well written. It does. The reason I have it where I have it is because it does get a little convoluted at times, and you feel that. You know, I mean, the movie is 139 minutes, so it's over 2 hours.
Okay.
You know, definitely you feel that at times, but it always comes back, and it's a tremendous entertainment film that actually does also make an interesting point, I think, about like our you talk about self-esteem, like how we weigh our self-esteem, our individual value against our economic contributions to society. I think that this is a really interesting kind of dissection of that through a comedic lens, sure, but it is an interesting dissection of that. And so, you know, I thought it was hilarious and entertaining, and it took a while for it to get the widespread release that it deserves. You know, so it finally was playing by me. It might finally be playing by you. It's worth a watch. You know, obviously
Yeah, I
it's
definitely want to see it.
subtitles. It is a subtitled film. It is a South Korean film, but it is really funny. You know, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Um, you know, not the film of the year, but it is hilarious and insightful. And it also contains what's probably the world's largest roll of toilet paper. I made a
Okay.
note of that on my letterbox reviews. I have to bring that up because when you eventually watch this movie at some point down the road, you'll see it and you're like, dude, that is like a stupidly large roll of toilet paper. It is so unnecessary.
And it's not
Um,
supposed to be like as a joke.
I mean, they just, it's not even something that it's not even important. It's just a shot of it at one point in the factory and that's it. They never reference it or anything. We just see
Uh,
really large toilet paper.
okay.
And
All right.
when I
I'll
was
be on the
watching it,
lookout.
I was like, that's fucking weird. Why is that there? So anyway, I know they make paper products and they make it a point in this film. All the people who like work in paper mills, they're like, I'm important. I value blah, blah, blah. Like, do you know how important paper is to your everyday life?
They,
Everything is and it's kind of true. They're like
this is a
the
push for
cigarette.
paper.
It is big paper push. You know,
Is
like
this an anti-tree movie?
it is low
Whoa.
key an anti tree. It is big paper. Big paper
You know what?
made sponsored this film.
I'll tell you right now, I will never understand how paper comes from tree. How does paper
Um,
come from tree? That's where we get wood from.
haven't you ever played Alchemist, the game Alchemist?
I've never
What is
heard of
that?
that.
Alchemy, Alchemist.
I don't know. Dude, don't
What?
tell me you know how paper comes from trees.
I don't know. How
If you
did we
cut
get
really thin wood from a tree, you'll just get thin wood. You're not getting paper.
how do you get well I mean I guess we needed the paper mill workers to explain to us.
Exactly. So
How
I
did
respect
we
it.
get how did we go from rocks to Bluetooth? I don't understand that. I will never understand how Bluetooth works actually.
Dude,
Never. You'll
I
never be able to explain it to me.
I was just talking to someone about food and baking, and like we're getting super off topic, so I'll just wrap it up with this one. But crazy that you need a cake, and someone knew to make a cake, you're gonna put eggs and flour and milk and sugar. Like, who thought to mix all this bullshit in there, cook it at the exact right amount of time, have this exact amount of stuff in it, take it out, like at the exact temperature, the exact amount of time, the exact 3,500 ingredients that you need. Insane. It's just insane to me how people know how to make anything. Like the first
Well,
person to make anything.
they experimented, I guess, you know. They
They
just
must
threw
have.
things in and then they ate it and they're like, this is good. You know, think about even like back then, like hunters and gatherers, right? Like they would go and see like a berry on a bush and they'd be like, well, there's only one way to find out if I'll be able to eat this or not. And they eat the berry and well, are
Fucking
they alive?
die.
Are they alive? Great. You can eat those berries. Are you
Yeah.
dead? You can't eat those fucking berries, guys.
I
So,
wonder how many people died trying to get paper for the first time.
how many people died from paper cuts when they were trying to get paper for the first time?
Got decapitated from paper cuts.
What did they call paper cuts before they were papers? Just cuts?
Well, you get it's a paper cut when you get it from paper. So how
But
the
you
fuck?
can get a paper cut that, like, a paper cut is just such a thin cut that I feel like if you just, like, you can be like, oh, it's a paper cut, even though you
See,
didn't get
I've
it
never
from
done
paper.
that. I've only ever called it a paper cut when it comes from paper.
And when it
If
doesn't
it's
come
if
from
it's a
paper,
really
it's just a
thin
cut.
cut, I just go, oh, I have a tiny cut.
Oh, interesting. But
Hmm,
why do we specify paper cuts instead of just?
That is a good question because it's like
Like,
known
from-
for cutting, but then you can be
Why
like,
it's not
oh, this is
like-
a knife cut.
That's what I was saying, but no one's. That's what I was just gonna say, but no one says, "Oh, I have a knife cut," or at least most of the time, you're not gonna say, "I have a knife cut." If it's bad, you're gonna say you're stabbed.
Yeah,
That's what you're
I
gonna
have a knife
say.
stab.
I have a no. Yeah, no one goes, "I have a knife stab." But if you could be, like, obviously you can't. But if you could be stabbed by paper, would you say, "I have a paper stab"?
If someone made like a sword out of paper,
If you made a paper sword and stabbed someone with it, you wouldn't say, "I have a paper stab."
paper airplane just comes and stabs you.
Yeah, like if a paper airplane crashes, well, I guess you would say a paper airplane crash, because imagine if a paper airplane crashed and you go, "Oh my god, there was a plane crash,"
No,
and then it was just a paper.
Well, 'cause-
I'm like, "Oh my god, it's just a
holy
paper
shit!
airplane."
What is everyone okay? No, because nothing else you get cut by is in the title of the cut. It's just a cut. A glass cut, a knife cut. It's just a cut.
Yeah, no, you might be like, "I was cut by glass,"
Yeah, exactly.
but you're not gonna say, "I was cut by paper." You say,
Yeah.
"I have a paper cut."
So they should make a sequel to this movie and get into that detail.
Like, it's called Knives Out, but if it was done by a paper, would it be like paper cutout,
You're
paper
getting there.
out,
You got it. You got it. There you
paper
go.
out? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I guess that doesn't make as much sense. Anyway, movies.
Oh yeah, we love movies.
Yeah. Moving on from No Other Choice. So go see No Other Choice and The Rip and The Bone Temple. Go
And The
watch
Boat
movies.
People.
And Boat People.
Boat
Watch
People, yeah.
movies.
Watch all
Speaking of movies, let's I want to show you something, and then I want to give, because we honor movies every year, the Oscars obviously, and the nominations are coming out this Thursday, the 22nd. And so I want to just give some quick final thoughts about who we think might sneak into the top categories. Maybe if we think a surprise or two. I came across this app that I thought was really cool. You should download it. They don't sponsor me in any way. I don't even pay for the paid version of it. So
But feel free to sponsor if you want.
You're allowed to. It's called Award Expert.
Award Expert.
Yeah, and basically you can go. I was going through it like for like an hour and a half last night. You can like make lists of your, not just your favorite films of every year, but your predictions for Oscars, your predictions for the Golden Globes, for every award. You can put your and it's just like basically that, a place where you share your predictions
That's cool.
throughout the upcoming year.
Is there like a social media? Is it like you have?
Yeah, you
friends
can like
and-
connect. I haven't connected with anyone, but you can connect with people. Just don't mix up. There's a place where it says your favorites and a place for your predictions, and I started putting the predictions in the favorites.
It's
like, oh,
I
shit.
got you. It's a very new. Maybe it's not new, but it doesn't have that many ratings. It's not very popular. So shout out to Award Expert.
Shout out Award
Go
Expert.
check out that app.
It's really cool. When we get all, like tonight, you should play around with it or something.
I just downloaded it right now.
Yeah, you should. I know, but obviously we have to finish the episode. But like,
No, dude.
when
When
you
the
get
episode's
the
short, I want to check it out.
you're like, fuck off, goodbye.
Fuck off.
But when you get the opportunity tonight, tomorrow, whenever, just go on and like play around with it. And you can follow me and you can look at mine. It is really cool. You can't go back and do like your past predictions for the Oscars, but you can go back and do your favorites of the year. And you can put your most anticipated. So I put my most anticipated for this upcoming year.
Most anticipated movies coming out.
Movies and performances.
Oh, that's actually sick.
So it's really cool. And it displays top 10. You can keep going down further, but I only did up to the 10, or some do up to 5. Depends on the category.
And there's percentages of predictions.
Yeah, so then it shows the community, and you can see like, this is like, all right, this is the likelihood that this is going to get nominated, and then the likelihood of this like winning based off of the same formula that I and a lot of people in the film community use, which is just the combination of the BAFTAs, the Guild Awards that happen, the Critics' Choice, the Golden Globes, all these prerequisites and campaigns. I mean, people realize the Academy Awards is based on campaigning. And
Yeah.
so that's where you get all these numbers from. It is so fun. It is cool. I've been playing around with it. I recommend everyone checking it out. And when Jack and I get ourselves set up, maybe we'll drop our our profiles. You can follow us on there.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'm already gonna be stuck looking at it, so I can't look at it anymore. But I'm already looking. Yeah, it actually, what was it called again?
Award expert.
Award expert. Shout out you guys. I mean that's so cool. That's something we need. That is
Yeah.
so fun.
I filled out all my Oscar nomination predictions. I filled out PGA predictions. I filled out my SAG predictions. I was just going through it, having so much fun.
Yo, you were having a field day, bro.
I was absolutely. So I checked it out, but that's a good way to segue into those nominations. And we're not going to go through every single category, but just like some of the top ones, and we'll start at picture. We'll give some of our ideas of like, all right, who do we think is getting nominated? Who are our top contenders in this? And maybe some surprises that you're expecting on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of talking. Do you want to go first for this first category?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're doing best picture. I mean, nominations. Just I'm looking at. I'm using this app to tell me what movies.
I'm going to show
around.
you mine too.
Yeah, I think the nominations are pretty obvious for this one. There's obviously going to be a couple that are like, oh, maybe it'll slide in, maybe it won't. One Battle After Another is getting nominated.
Yep.
Sinners, I'm like pretty sure getting
Sinners
nominated.
is getting nominated.
Hamnet, of course. Marty Supreme, of course. Sentimental Value, of course.
Most likely.
I want to say Frankenstein, but I don't actually know about that one. What do you think?
I will say this. I agree with you. The four that are absolutely positively in is One Battle, Hamnet, Sinners, Marty Supreme. The only thing about Sentimental Value is it did get shut out at, the SAG Awards entirely, the actor awards, whatever. I don't think it, and it hasn't had the same steam in the international competitions that I thought it would. But at the end of the day, I still expect it to do very well on Oscar morning. I do expect it in Best Picture. Frankenstein, I don't know how well this is going to do this year, or obviously so far it's been hanging around. Guillermo del Toro is so beloved in the industry. I have a feeling it'll make the 10, just purely based on it is a very widely known story, an older tale, and it's Guillermo del Toro, and he's really beloved. So I expect that to be in. I expect The Secret Agent to be in.
I think so too.
I think that one has done really well. Probably we're not going to necessarily talk international feature today, but the nominees are going to be exciting. No Other Choice hopefully will be there. Sentimental Value, we talk about that. Secret Agent, it's been the favorite probably in that one right now. So yeah, I expect that there. And that leaves like 3 spots.
I'm hoping Train Dreams could get in there.
I think Train Dreams can get in. I don't think it has a ton of steam.
It doesn't.
I mean, it depends if it can really get into adapted screenplay. Under my current screenplay predictions, I don't have it making that, but I do still have it in Best Picture, just because I think some of these other contenders have fallen out, and this is still done very well this year. And Joel Edgerton and Clint Bentley have been out there campaigning.
What about Begonia? Because Yorgos is very popular at the Oscars.
Yorgos is popular. Everyone loves Emma Stone. She's going to get nominated at the Oscars, most likely. We'll get to that in a minute. Jesse Plemons, we'll also get to actor in a minute. That's a wild card. I think Begonia can slip in there. I do think that it is certainly one of the last, 9, 10 slots. But it was just an accident, which is my 10th one that I have in there. That was the Palme d'Or winner. It seems to have kind of fallen off. It's not getting the screenplay wins like people thought it might. I just don't know what else would take any of those spots. Like when I look at Begonia, yeah, maybe Wicked for Good. Maybe. I don't love its chances at this point. And then the only other one is maybe F1, because I think it's going to do very well in the technical categories. So there's a chance that there's enough industry love that F1 could get in there. I'm not seeing it at this time. I think Bugonia's gotten enough love at other stops along the way that it gets a spot.
And then for predicting the winner right now, we probably have the same one. I'm gonna say One Battle.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really. All the steam is there. I don't really know what can overtake it. I would have thought Sinners, and then Sinners didn't even win the Golden Globe for Best Drama.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't in the best category, but Hamnet took that. So, there are rumors that Sinners can come away with a record-breaking amount of nominations on Oscar morning with 15. That's like Variety is like predicting that
Okay,
that's
that would be
possible.
crazy.
That would be nuts. So I just don't know where Sinners lies in that race. But you're right. I don't see anything at this point. At this point, winning over One Battle.
Do you want to do director next?
Yeah, let's get to
You'll
director.
you'll start us off.
Yeah, so I think that this is a pretty set in stone category.
I
Well,
also agree.
no, actually I don't. I think there are three that are set in stone. PTA.
Yes, PTA, 100%.
Yeah, sorry. All right, the other two.
I was gonna say, can I see if I know yours? I think no. I'll say. All right, fuck. All right.
What do you want to do
I'm
here?
spazzing
Oh my
out,
god, what the hell's going on?
PTA. I'll go and then you say the third one. Okay.
Okay.
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, he'll get
Okay.
nominated.
Yeah. What's the third?
And Chloe Zhao.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
After that, I think you have genuinely 5 directors. One is very much on the outskirts, though. Very much. But I think you have 5 directors for the last 2 spots.
I think Guillermo might get it.
Guillermo's one of them. There's a lot of industry love.
Yeah.
Joaquin Trier, Sentimental Value.
Okay.
Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme. Jafar Panahi, It Was Just an Accident. And I don't know how to say his name. Kleber Filho. I don't know the secret agent director.
Yeah.
I know, say what you want about what this app is saying, 7% nomination chance. He hasn't gotten a lot of nominations along the way, I know, but the Oscars have a history of surprises in the directing category with international filmmakers, and the secret agent has a lot of steam. It would not be I'm not necessarily predicting it. It would not surprise me if they announce him as one of the 5 on Oscar morning, which would knock one of the big names out. Would not surprise me, though, if they actually go ahead and do that. I don't know if they will. I think Jafar Panahi is going to fall out, unfortunately.
I don't know if Josh Safdie's going to be in there.
I don't know if Josh Safdie is going to be in there.
I really think Guillermo has a better shot. Like this app does say some things I disagree with. Like I don't think Josh Safdie is as locked in as more than Guillermo.
I just don't know. I mean, what is the Directors Guild going to do? They're going to give it to PTA. But have they come out with their nominees?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I both predict PTA to win this, right?
Yeah, I don't think that is really much of a question.
So that's 2 of the biggest categories going to Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay, so they both. So PTA, Ryan Coogler, Del Toro, so Josh Safdie and Guillermo both were nominated at the DGA. So it could go either way. It could be both, even. But they did both get in at DGA. If one of them had missed, I would have said that one was not going to get in at the Oscars because it's the same, voting body basically. But we'll see. Joaquin Trier didn't get in there. Maybe Trier doesn't get in at the Oscars this year. Over them. I might have to change my predictions, but I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about the secret agent. I could see a surprise on Oscar morning.
This could be a sleeper,
It's just no one would see it coming.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I think they would do it. Moving on, why don't we go to actress?
Yeah, actress. I mean, I think you should also take this one because you have very strong opinions about Best Actress.
Oh, well, Jessie Buckley's going to win. It doesn't really even matter who we predict the rest of the way.
I predict that too, but I just haven't seen Hamnet, so I can't strongly say it, but based on what I'm hearing, yes.
You don't even have to see it. She's won everywhere there's possible, and except Rose Byrne only won when she wasn't in the same category as Jessie Buckley. Well, I haven't seen If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I'm sure Rose Byrne will be nominated, and I'm sure she's fantastic in it, but this is Jessie Buckley's year. So it's going to be those two, Buckley and Byrne. After that, it is interesting. I think you have 3 that are, ahead, but I wouldn't say locked in. Emma Stone, Chase Infinity. Chase Infinity is in a very strong film, but this could be like a Richard Gere moment. Richard Gere, who didn't get nominated for his performance in Chicago in 2000. She's young. Like, he was young. I could see them maybe skipping over Chase Infinity at the Oscars.
Maybe, but so for who though?
Well, you have Renate Reinsva. I think she'll get in. I think Emma Stone gets in. And then
Not Cynthia, right?
I truthfully wonder a little bit about Kate Hudson. She's gotten in at the Golden Globe. She got in at SAG. There's a lot
Really?
of industry love for her. They've pushed for her. She's apparently really good in it.
I've
That
been
could be
seeing a lot
that.
about that movie, Song Sung Blue, and it just looks so goofy. Like,
I mean, I'm sure, but like apparently she's really good in it, and I haven't seen it either. I'm not saying she can take the fifth spot. Chase Infinity's in a much stronger film.
yeah.
There is also Amanda Seyfried, but Testament of Anne Lee has really fallen off.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably Chase Infinity. I'm just saying if they went with the veteran in that spot instead of Chase Infinity,
Yeah.
I could see that.
All right, that's fair. So Jesse Buckley gonna take it probably.
Best actor. Why don't we shoot it back to you for this one?
Yeah, best actor. The two absolute locks are Timothy Chalamet and Leo. I think those are the only two that actually, people are basically asking which one of them is gonna win.
I disagree.
Really, because we know Michael B. Jordan's gonna be nominated, but you
Well,
think do you think he's the third?
no.
Like the people think
Michael B. Jordan is not winning this Oscar.
So who's are you gonna say Ethan Hawke?
No, I'm gonna say Wagner Moura.
Oh, the secret agent is always. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wagner
you're right.
Moura is winning a lot. There's a lot of love for his performance. I don't think he can over.
It.
I mean, I can't predict it as of now. Here, I'll say this: I think the 5 in this category are locked in. I think it is a long shot for Plemons and Edgerton at this point.
Which really, I do think Joel Edgerton should be nominated. I haven't seen anything really about Blue Moon, so I don't know. But I really wish Joel Edgerton was nominated for Train Dreams.
Right. Oh, he's great in it. I think Plemons is fantastic in Begonia. I just think these 5 are pretty locked in. Chalamet, DiCaprio, Jordan, Moura, Hawke. I think we're seeing them pretty much show up everywhere. So I think we'll see that at the Oscars. And I do think this is Timothy Chalamet's moment. I think this is what it's leading up to. But I don't think Leo's in second. He hasn't really, they're going to give one battle after another something this year in the acting categories. I believe that. But is it going to be here? I don't think so. I think if it's not Chalamet, I think Wagner Moura somehow snipes it.
Timothy Chalamet.
But
he's in such a weird position where it's like, I had a conversation with my friend about this. It's not like everything he's in now is this his Oscar? This is what Leo was kind of in before he won in The Revenant. It was like everything Leo was making. It was like, okay, is this when he wins his Oscar? Okay, no. Is this when he wins his Oscar? Timmy is in that moment right now where that whatever movie that he came out last year, fucking Bob Dylan
Complete
movie.
Unknown.
Complete Unknown. People are like, this is Timmy's Oscar. Okay, no. All right, now everyone's like, no, this is his Oscar. It's like, okay, maybe. No, maybe next year. Like, you never know.
I guess, but he's so much younger than Leo when he finally pulled it off. Like,
but
all
he's in
those
that
years,
same spot where it's like,
all those years of the Academy passing him up, all those roles. Like, they're not going to pass up Marty Supreme. They will give this one to Chalamet, I think.
So
but,
too.
In terms of their stardom, I agree. It's very similar. And you're right. We've been waiting for his moment, and he's been very vocal about it. And I think that's been part of it. He's always very vocal about his striving for greatness, but also just his, unique marketing, so to speak, his campaigns on all of his movies.
Dude, people complain about that shit.
I don't know why.
They're like, oh, he's pushing for too many awards and he says he wants to do great and be the best. Like, oh, he's too cocky. No, that's honestly the opposite of cocky. He thinks he can be the best, but he's admitting that he's not, and he can always do better. Like, I think we should all strive to be the best and do better.
But yeah, what's wrong with the sentiment of striving for greatness? Isn't that
Yeah,
what
and
we're all trying to do?
people are like, "Oh, he's too full of himself."
Athletes strive for greatness, and this is that conversation we've had again about like weighing the importance of awards in general. And look, nothing should be more important to any of them than the art of the films themselves. Otherwise, I just don't think you're a good enough artist. But also, it is a job, it is a career and a livelihood. So money is important. Security is important. Accolades and recognition can be important.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem with that. As You're right, it should not be at the sacrifice of artistic integrity, but that doesn't mean that these things shouldn't be important as well.
And if I was making fire ass movies and doing amazing in them, I'd want an Oscar too. Like,
Yeah,
I'd want that shit
I
too.
agree. Why don't we get to the supporting categories real quick? Best supporting actress.
Sure.
I think that in this case, you have two that are really battling back and forth in Teyana Taylor and Amy Madigan. I didn't think Amy Madigan was going to sweep all year when she won at the Critics' Choice.
Me neither. I
Teyana
was very
Taylor,
surprised.
then Teyana Taylor won at Golden Globes. It can go to either one, but one battle is the stronger film, and I do think that this is where they're going to give it its acting award.
I agree, and it's not like I dislike Tiana Taylor's performance, but I'm pushing so hard for Wunmi Musaku.
I think she'll be nominated.
I think so too, but
I don't think she's going to win.
She needs not she needs I need her to get it. Like, she was so good.
But I think that the one thing that people talk about Teyana Taylor is like she's not in the movie as long, but like it's a
Yeah.
supporting performance. She's in there for the first like 30 minutes, and then I would argue her presence really like hangs over the film the rest of the time.
Yeah, she's narratively she's very, very important.
Absolutely. So, I think she's great. And then the last two spots, I think Ariana Grande can get in. Obviously, Wicked for Good has really fallen in terms of its Oscar hopefuls. I mean, Cynthia Erivo's basically dead in the water for Best Actress, and then Wicked for Good maybe sneaks into Best Picture. I wouldn't bet on it. I think Ariana Grande is safe for the nomination, though. Then you have the fifth spot, and you have a few people battling here. And I think a lot of the expectation is Inga Ibsdottir Liljash, Sentimental Value. I mean, she was my favorite supporting performance of the year. I have a hot take that I think both Sentimental Value supporting actresses are going to miss. And I think that Odessa Azion is going to sneak in for Marty Supreme in that fifth spot. That is my I guess, hot or not hot, bold prediction of this episode. Most of these I think are safe. I could see it. I don't know. I feel like Sentimental Value is losing some love on the, on the acting front. It got completely shut out at SAG. And so, I mean, there's a lot of Marty Supreme love. Odessa Zion's really good in that movie. It is a hot take, but I think she's coming on strong. I think she might sneak in there on. If it's not her, it'll be Inga Ibsdottir Liljash. I don't think Elle Fanning is going to be nominated, and she missed out for A Complete Unknown last year as well. I think she'll miss out again this year too. But, yeah, Odessa Zion's great in that movie.
Yeah. Best supporting actor. I mean, there's a couple locks here. Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård, probably Benicio del Toro. And then, Jacob Elordi has been getting he got an award recently, right?
Once he won the Critics' Choice, I knew he was going to be nominated. Before that, I wasn't sure. So now you got the fifth spot. It's probably Paul Mescal.
Probably, because I don't know who else. I mean, I don't think Adam Sandler's getting it.
No, Jay Kelly's dead in the water. I would love for a Delroy Lindo nomination. A Delroy Lindo nomination would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think Sinners is getting anything in this one.
So I do think it's Skarsgård, Del Toro, Penn, Elordi, and Mescal. And I have no idea who's going to win it.
I don't either. I'm gonna just go with my gut, and I'm gonna say Sean Penn. I know that's probably unpopular. I think we've been talking, and Skarsgård might get it because apparently he's really good in the movie, but also honoring his career, this would be the time to do it. And I don't know. I thought Sean Penn was amazing. I think he still has a
Well,
chance to win it.
I say that Sean Penn is my favorite supporting actor performance of the year. Stellan Skarsgård, I think, is really great in sentimental value, but wasn't in my top 5 even. Um, you know, I don't think Sean Penn's going to win. Here's the predicament in this category. I think a lot of people thought Benicio del Toro was going to emerge as the favorite because early on, before the televised ceremonies, he was winning a lot of critics' prizes. But it hasn't really worked out that way. He hasn't won anything yet. He still can. I think between the two, he's more likely, even though I agree Sean Penn's the better performance. Benicio's still great.
Uh-huh.
But I think that they're going to end up canceling each other out with votes.
Just splitting the voters.
I think it's going to split the voters. And I think that's why they're going to end up with neither of them really coming home with anything this year. That's why I think Teyana Taylor is like the big one battle acting winner this year.
Uh-huh.
I just think Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn are going to split the votes. I still wonder if Jacob Elordi can come out of this category as the winner.
I wouldn't hate that.
I think that would be nuts. I think that would be such a cool win. I think it'd be one of my favorite wins and he wasn't even in my top 5 this past year, even though I almost feel like I want to put him there now.
Yeah.
Like if I was going to redo it, I probably would have him there now. He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I wouldn't hate it. I think that I would probably bet Stellan Skarsgård at this point if I had to choose, if I had to put money on it. But
which we will.
yeah, but things might change.
Things might change.
Right now, I don't know. I can see an Elordi win. I mean, they gave Mikey Madison a win last year. She's 25, so
yeah, it's possible.
I could see it. So we'll leave it at that. Next week, when the actual nominations come out, we're going to go through the screenplays, the cast, all that. We are going to go through all that. It's going to be a lot, but it's going to be very fun. But we'll leave the nominations at that for now. So very exciting. Couple surprises. We're hoping for, a great Oscar nomination. I'll leave off on this question. Is there anyone that you would just love to see that's not really in the conversation that you would love to wake up on Thursday morning and be like, wow, they made it in to any of these categories?
Oh, that's a good question. William H. Macy for Train Dreams as
That's a good
supporting
one.
actor.
That would be great.
So he was so fantastic, and he was barely in that movie, and he was so good. And obviously, nobody's talking about him being nominated. Everyone agrees that he's fantastic, but yeah, if he gets nominated, dude, I'd lose my shit.
That was a really good pull. I'm probably gonna say Jacoby Jupe, the kid from Hamnet.
Oh yeah,
he is so emotional and so, especially for his age, just so kind of in control of that emotional output and just such a big part of that movie working. I mean, I would argue I think he's maybe even better than Paul Mescal in that movie.
How old is this kid?
Oh God, he's not old, but I mean, Jacoby Jupe is. Where is it? Didn't come up with his own. 12.
Damn, I mean, so he's probably 10 years old when they're filming that movie.
Yeah, I mean, the youngest Oscar winner ever though was Tatum O'Neal when she was 10.
That's crazy.
So,
dude.
And that was for I did see that movie, Paper Moon.
Peter I would like this kid to get nominated because that's an awesome thing to just see.
Yeah. So it would be, I think he would be so deserving if he came out. It's not going to happen, but anyway, those are our thoughts and predictions. Shout out Award Expert, check them out, and we'll move on to our final game for today. A little game.
Yeah. So we're gonna play some over under. Basically, say if something is overrated, underrated, or properly rated. We'll each give each other one thing. We each have 5, but we'll go one at a time. You want to start or I start? You choose.
I'm not going to choose. Willie is going to choose.
You choose who chooses.
Willie.
All right.
You call it.
I'll go heads. I went tails last time.
Okay. Tails.
Okay. All right. You're giving me one or am I giving you one?
What did I do last time? I think I gave you one first.
I think you did.
You give me one first this time.
Okay. I got a really good one. I'll save it for like the middle, maybe. All
Oh,
right.
I haven't ordered them on.
I'm just going random. Is this overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Walton Goggins.
Ooh. Um, Walton Goggins is underrated. I think he is so good and so versatile. Both lending his voice into voice acting. You know, he's in Invincible, obviously, but
Yeah, I forgot about that.
he's also really incredible in general. He's in Fallout, which you know, I'm getting through season 2 right now, and hopefully, when both you and I are caught up, we can talk a little bit about it on here,
Uh-huh.
maybe. But he's really, really great in that. He's awesome in The White Lotus. Walton Goggins is great way back, even in uh The Hateful Eight. He's awesome in The
Yeah, he
Hateful
is
Eight.
great in that.
So I've always been a really big fan of his work. He's even really good in Ant-Man. Like he's always around. He's does really different kinds of roles. I love him. I don't think he gets enough love. Yeah, I would say he's underrated.
Yeah, he's in a few comedies too. Vice Principals, Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, he can be
He's really
funny, but he can also be kind of like scary. I
yeah,
mean, you know, he plays a lot. You know, he plays a lot of different roles and does it well.
he's great. Good take.
All right. Is this overrated, underrated, or properly rated? And I picked this specifically because you watched The Rip, the tandem of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. In general, their whole body of work, whatever you want to consider it as.
They're individuals as individuals, or when they're together.
When they're together. No, not like, don't, not, I'm talking about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together as a duo.
Yes. Okay. I think it is overrated.
Okay.
I think that they are great in Good Will Hunting. They did amazing writing that and working on it. And obviously being in it. Oscar winning movie. Um, but I do think people see their friendship and they're like, it's the greatest thing in the world. They're, people, I've seen interviews with them for The Rip, and people were like, do you guys have matching tattoos? Do you guys get lunch every Sunday? Do you guys call each other all the time? Do your friends do your kids call each other Uncle Matt and Uncle Ben? And it's like such a parasocial relationship that people have, and they're so involved in these guys' friendship, and it's like, just leave them alone. Like they're they're a good duo for sure. They're a great duo. They're funny together. They're obviously very comfortable with each other. They're obviously really good friends. But I do think people are like, and there's so many, so much speculation about them being gay for each other. It's like, and they're just friends. Yeah, okay. Um, but I do think it is a little overrated. People get too invested in their friendship, and they're just really good friends. Maybe they are gay for each other. I don't know, but who cares?
I will say this. I think they're maybe slightly overrated. I would agree, but I don't think that Good Will Hunting is their only good movie. I mean, it's obviously by and far their best movie
Yeah,
together. Incredible work. But they did that movie Air a few years ago that
they
I
did
really
do Air.
liked.
Air was great.
They did a movie with Ridley Scott, The Last Duel. They were both in that, and that was fantastic.
Really, I only
That is
saw
a
Air, I think, out of
that is a
everything.
great movie. So you know, I mean, then they did The Instigators, which wasn't very good. But
But no,
but
that was
like,
Casey Affleck though.
oh right, yeah.
Yeah, because
All
Ben wasn't
right.
there. That's why it wasn't as good. They needed Ben.
Dude, you're so right. Wait, so they did Good Will Hunting. Let me go through these then. Um,
Because you know what? Is that what you meant by your question? Because I've only ever seen Good Will Hunting and Air and The Rip, so I
well,
didn't
I just
know.
meant in general their collaboration.
Because I couldn't remember Air, so I really only thought about Good Will Hunting and The Rip. So I.
Yeah, okay, but not as many. Then I guess if we want to count their business ventures, no, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're about properly rated, but I think lately they've become a little overrated. But Air
I
was good.
I think their collaborations and their work is probably properly rated, but I think them as a duo is overrated.
That's fair. But individually, they're both incredible at what they do.
They
So
both
it's
are. I
no
think they're
like,
both
there's no
actually.
slight to Affleck or Damon. They are fantastic.
I would say, if we're gonna go an individual, I would say Matt Damon is properly rated. I would say Ben Affleck is underrated.
That's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty fair. Um, all right, let's
Let
move
me
on.
let me hit you with. I'll go with my favorite one. I'm just gonna hit you with it. This is my favorite one that I have. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. classic music turned cinematic for trailers. Do you know what I mean by that?
Um,
Like when
like taking
David
a
Bowie's
song and making it
Starman
epic.
was in Lightyear, it's like the
Yeah, yeah,
Starman. It's got all
yeah.
the sound effects.
Or like the Quantum Mania trailer,
With the Yellow Brick
Yellow
Road,
Brick
like
Road.
that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Or like Upside Down for the new Stranger Things trailer.
I mean,
Madonna from Deadpool Wolverine.
I guess it's properly rated. I mean, sometimes they're cheesy and tacky. Sometimes they're, they fit. I think it depends on the tone of the trailer. In movies, I'm always going to prefer an actual like score,
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess except in certain situations, I guess. But most movies I'll prefer score. But for the trailer, it depends on the movie. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll just say properly rated. Again, it depends on the movie. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
I love them, dude. I always want a longer version of. I'm like, can we get this on Spotify or something? Like that
Oh, the
version.
song is great. It just doesn't work with the trailer.
Like Lightyear was such a bad movie, but that trailer is so fantastic with the David Bowie playing over it and the visuals. And then you have like,
Yeah.
and it's for the most mid movies, like Avengers: Age of Ultron, turning the Pinocchio song into this like horror vibe. Like I love it. I would say it's super underrated, but because it's my favorite part of trailers, honestly.
Oh, I don't know about my favorite part
I
of the
love it.
trailer. I would not say that. But okay. Moving on to my next one. Overrated, underrated, properly rated, live action remakes.
Overrated. Totally overrated. Um, I think they're so unnecessary. I think that you can argue their existence if there's a certain amount of time has passed, but things like How to Train Your Dragon, as much as I actually really enjoyed that movie, Moana, Lilo and Stitch, like it's not. Those are the most recent ones. I just think it's stupid. They're talking about doing an Invincible live action remake while the show is still going on. They're talking about doing all these live action remakes. It's just like you can't do what animation can do, and it's just not going to be as good.
Yeah, I agree. The only argument I would say is that they're not super overrated only because so many people agree with that
Yeah, but look
take.
how much money they make, man.
Yeah, that's why I would still agree with you. I'm just saying that, like, even though we all, they're not great, a lot of people agree that they're not great. So I
Yeah.
don't know that it's like super overrated, but it's probably, it is definitely somewhat overrated because they keep making them and most of them make a lot of money. So you're right. All right.
Okay. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. The X-Men.
Um, I didn't grow up with the X-Men as much as other, comic characters. Certainly I didn't really read their comics. I haven't even seen all the movies. I've seen, like Days of Future Past and First Class and the original X-Men, but um I would say they're properly rated as well. I think there's a lot of love for those characters. They obviously have been like they've been the top Marvel group next to the Fantastic Four,
Uh-huh.
for more throughout Marvel's history as comics and then to television and film. The only reason you didn't even see it as the head of the MCU is because they didn't have the rights because Marvel went bankrupt and they had to sell off all the rights to their characters. So, they're not overrated. I think they're great. Um, I don't know if I'd say they're underrated. I mean, maybe to a casual, even I'm a little bit of a casual, but maybe to an extreme casual, only because they haven't been publicly like with their own new movies in years. And I definitely think they're becoming like the Fox ones are becoming slightly overrated because of their reuse in all these
Yeah.
movies. So I do think those versions are becoming overrated a bit. But the X-Men in general, I think are properly rated. People love them and for good reason.
That's a great answer, dude. I totally agree. I think maybe recently a little underrated, but overall properly rated. Because I think some of them are underrated. Like Wolverine gets his time in the spotlight. He's super
Right, that's true. I
like
mean,
like
if
Wolverine and like Professor X, but I think like Cyclops gets super sidelined or Iceman, like Nightcrawler. But I do think overall properly rated is the right
yeah, it's a good
answer.
point too. Is I was just speaking of the group as a whole. You're right. Each character it depends on like certain ones have gotten a lot
Yeah.
more story run than others. So,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's a good one. Is this overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Marty Supreme. Been getting a lot of attention, a lot of hype.
I'm gonna say properly rated. I loved it. Yeah, I mean it's my probably third favorite movie of or fourth favorite movie of all the possible nominations for Best Picture. I think it's great. I think Timothy Chalamet definitely deserves the Oscar. I'd say it's properly rated. Every good thing that people are saying about it, I think is accurate, and I don't think there's a lot of people shit talking it. I'm sure there's a large group of people shit talking it, but not enough compared to all the people that love it.
Yeah, they're not outspoken in any
Yeah, they're
way.
not outspoken.
I would say it's properly rated as well. I wouldn't say it's overrated. It's definitely one of the best films of the year.
Yeah,
So how can I? It's in my top 10. It's not in my top 5. But it certainly, and I think, deserves to be recognized and celebrated as one of the best films of the year. It's exciting. It's fascinating. It's emotional. Timothy Chalamet gives his best performance of his whole career in this. Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow returns to the screen after how many years?
yeah.
Yeah, this is a great film for sure.
You get a feeling watching that film that you don't get when you watch a lot of movies, you know?
Absolutely,
Just that
absolutely.
thrill.
Just it's great way to put. It's thrilling. It's funny. It's magical. It is such a great experience. You saw it in the theater, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it is a great theatrical experience. And you
absolutely.
don't always get that, especially from a movie that's not like an action movie.
I have a two-parter for you, okay?
Okay.
Is this overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Saturday Night Live, present day, and overall as a TV show.
Okay. Uh, present day. Overall, as
It's a little tough.
present day underrated, slightly,
Okay.
not tremendously, slightly. Overall, underrated, slightly. I'll explain. They're kind of in hand. SNL was not. I maybe it's another point I wouldn't have said it's currently. The current times are always changing.
Yeah, it depends
Here's
on how it works.
here's the thing about SNL. It's not every sketch hits. Not every sketch is funny. All right, a lot of them don't land, and the first people to tell you that would be Lorne and the cast themselves. But this show, I think, by our generation, doesn't get the credit it deserves for being the formative, the foundation, the just the place that creates some of the most iconic comedic legends of our time. It has.
Yeah.
And
It's
and
everyone's origin story.
I don't think there is so much about comedy that we enjoy today. So many of our favorite sitcoms, so many of our favorite gags and characters and jokes and actors and stand-ups, like none of that, not none, but so much of that doesn't happen without SNL. What they do at SNL is they go to different, comedy clubs all around and different groups in like Chicago and LA and New York, and they recruit people that they have followings, and especially today, like I think an interesting thing about SNL is that because so many people have access now to TikTok and there's so many other various outlets of sketch comedy that's beyond the restrictions of, network television.
Mhm.
So I think that's why people are starting to move by SNL a bit, or why it feels like it's not as culturally significant anymore, because the culture has just been not watered down, just packed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just filled. There's so much others comedy and outlets out there via social media and YouTube, and I mean, look at us even. So, it certainly makes it feel less significant, but I just don't think it is. I think it's always going to be this outlet of cultural significance, political significance, societal significance. I don't think you can change that and the foundation that it provides. So I know it's a bit of a long-winded answer for this one, but like that is how I feel about it. That it's not tremendously underrated. It's not always funny. I've seen sketches that I think stink,
Yeah.
but but at the end of the day, there are those sketches that are hilarious, and we cannot deny the importance that SNL serves, even if it's doing so almost blindly now in our culture.
I totally agree. I think even the cast today is super underrated. I mean, you might not know everyone's names, but they're all pretty good. They're all pretty funny. I mean, like, yeah, of course you have the classics. You have like Keenan and Colin Jost and Michael Che. Like, of course people know those people, but like even the new people, like Ashley Padilla is so funny. You might not
Future
even know her
star,
name.
future
Yeah,
star.
like these
James
people. I
Austin
mean,
Johnson,
James Austin Johnson, Marcelo Hernandez, a bunch of people know him, but like
he's starting to
still,
become, yeah,
like these people are so funny. Even Ben Marshall, the new supporting player, whatever they're called,
featured
um
player, yeah.
featured player, like he's amazing. So I think, yeah, I'm totally with you. Pretty underrated.
Yeah, I just don't think enough people our age give it the love it deserves,
Yeah.
personally. All right, that was a good one. That was a really good one. I have one for you. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. Tom Cruise's filmography outside of Top Gun and Mission Impossible. So not his franchises, everything else that Tom Cruise has done, and he's done a lot. So it's not like those are the only things he's done.
That is really good. I'm gonna go underrated. I think he kind of gets outshined by his own success. He kind of suffers from his own success a little bit. Not that he suffers, but people overlook his other movies because of how successful and how great Top Gun and the Mission Impossible movies are. I think he's great in all these individual things. I'm trying to think even off the top of my head. Like he's great in War of the
Eyes Wide Shut
Worlds.
Out, Eyes Wide Shut, War of the Worlds.
I really want to see Minority Report, but of course I've never seen that.
He's really good in Minority Report. There's Magnolia.
Risky Business.
Jerry Maguire,
Jerry
Rain Man.
Maguire, Rain Man, the one where he's working at a bar. There's a bartender. I forgot what it's called. Shot glass or something. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, he's in The Outsiders too.
He is in The Outsiders. But wait, there's what are my
He's in
favorite?
A Few Good Men. That's obviously the Rob Reiner film. He's in the one where he's the samurai, the last samurai.
Edge of Tomorrow is so
Edge
good.
of Tomorrow.
That is one of my favorite Tom Cruise. That's one of my favorite movies. Tropic Thunder, he's in for a little bit, dude. Les Grossman.
So I'll say, you know, I'll say this much about Tom Cruise's filmography. He's obviously a great action star, and that's what he's doing in Top Gun and Mission Impossible. And it's not that he's not a good performance, but it's not, you know, people forget that has a really great acting range too.
He's great, dude. I saw him in the movie Collateral. Have you ever seen that?
No, the Michael Mann film?
He plays the villain, dude,
Yeah.
and he's like a hitman, and it's one of his biggest like performative changes from just Tom Cruise, because a lot of people make the complaint he's just playing himself. You know, he's just a cool guy doing cool guy things. But he's a villain in this one, and Collateral is really great.
Yeah, I've heard great things. It's one of the only
So-
Michael Mann movies I haven't seen, but and that's why one of my most anticipated films this year is that new film Digger, because he's like supposed to really transform in this film. So
I'm really excited to see more Tom Cruise.
yeah,
I think that's a great one because he does get a little. There's a little.
I mean,
little
Top Gun and Mission
underrated.
Impossible are great, but I feel like there's so much more to his career that there's a reason he's Tom Cruise. There's a reason he was a movie star, and it's not just that.
Yeah, and the fact that you can wipe out 10 of his movies and be like, if we have to take out these 10 to see even if there is a conversation about him not being a good actor. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, all right, let's take him out. And then the answer is, no, he's still amazing. So
it's just funny because I think people would be like, what, Top Gun and Mission Impossible, what's left? And it's like, no, all these movies are still left.
There's so many.
He's done so much.
What is that movie with him at the bar? I'm surprised you don't know what it is.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
He's
honestly.
like the bartender, or he's like, fuck, what is that called? Hold on, I'm getting it. Wait, ready?
I forgot he's also Jack Reacher.
Tom Cruise bartender movie. Cocktail.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Holy shit, it's a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Have you ever
Maybe
seen
that one wasn't good for your argument.
Have you ever seen the new Mummy movie that he's in? That's like literally the most dog shit movie ever.
No, I haven't seen that either.
I heard it's terrible. All right, let me hit you with my last one. Is this Overrated, underrated, or properly rated movie theater snacks?
Properly rated. I go to the movie theater so much that I just don't get snacks that much anymore because it's so
It's
expensive.
so
And
expensive.
you know, actually, I'm changing it. Overrated. Movie theater snacks are overrated because of how expensive they are. They're delicious, but they're all pretty much all stuff that I can just bring in with me. You know what I
They're
mean?
not worth the price.
I mean, obviously the popcorn, I'm not going to be able to bring popcorn like that in with me, but is it worth $10 for a fucking small popcorn? No, probably not. You know what I mean? Like,
No, dude.
so I mean, the snacks themselves in a vacuum are not overrated. Obviously, they're great snacks, but like, I don't go to AMC and get like the specific like cooked food. I just never do that. You know, if like people, the ones that have that stuff, I
Yeah, well,
never get
ours
those.
ours has that near me, and I
Yeah.
know people get like nachos, or some people get like mozzarella sticks. They
Yeah. I've
look
never
good,
really,
but it's like $15.
yeah. So I would say overrated because of the price.
If you could go to the movies and like there's no budget, you have to get one candy. Let's just say you get a popcorn, you get a candy and a drink. What's your candy and drink go to?
M&Ms and I don't really drink soda anymore, but I would get a cherry Coke.
Yeah, cherry Coke. You're not like a icy guy.
Not really. I would have probably gone with the cherry Coke, but I've no more. No more.
M&M's in the popcorn.
Sometimes,
Sometimes, yeah.
but
Yeah.
not always. I didn't always want to mix with the butter, but sometimes I don't know that it tastes so good together. I don't know what it is.
I do think you're right. Overrated. I love cookie dough bites, and like you used to not be able to really get them anywhere besides the movie theater, but now you could get them at any like 7-Eleven. And the popcorn's great, but yeah, way too expensive, man. What are we doing?
Yeah,
AMC
way
doesn't
too
even
much.
have small popcorns, bro. They got medium and
Medium.
large, and it's like that's crazy.
Yeah. All right, my last one to wrap this up. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. I gave you one franchise last week, so I'm going to give you another one here right now. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. Star Wars.
Hmm. That might be the hardest one you've given me.
Yeah.
Ah, man. I think I, I I think I'm gonna say, oh my god, this is so hard. I think I'm gonna say underrated. I was leaning towards overrated, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck that, underrated. Because, and here's exactly why, although they've been putting out pretty much dog shit very recently, I think people look at episode 9. I think most people are just movie fans and they see episode 9 and then they go, Star Wars sucks now. But in reality, Star Wars has things that have come out recently, like Andor. Like, um, oh god, Clone Wars season 7 was so long ago. But the Bad Batch, I think, is super underrated. I think Star Wars animation gets kind of swept under the rug by most casual viewers. I think the movies are in a pretty bad place now. I'm not excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think many people are. But I think underrated as a whole. I think the TV shows, there's some really, really great gems in there. There is some trash, sure. Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, not great. But I think the animation is possibly some of my favorite stuff from Star Wars. I do think that kind of gets overlooked a lot.
That's fair. I mean, in a vacuum, Andor extremely high, extremely underrated. I
Yeah.
agree. Star Wars as a whole, I would say is properly rated, but maybe right in this moment, a little overrated. I just because that right now, it really has been kind of a dying franchise in terms of content. I mean,
But I think
you
people
know,
recognize
yeah,
that, though.
we've
I
gotten
feel like they agree that it's dying.
yeah, but there's still so much attention on it. You know what I mean? And it's still like this held to this next level of a franchise. And I'm like, it really, it hasn't made that many significantly incredible things in the last several years. There are like a handful of projects that I have liked from Star Wars recently. Andor, uh, um, season 7 of Clone Wars.
Did you like Bad Batch? That came out a couple years ago, like
I
2 years
liked
ago.
it. I didn't love it. I liked it, but it's just it's whatever. Visions, I thought was really great. Um,
Mando seasons 1 and 2 were
and
great,
then
but
Mando
that's like
seasons 1 and
what,
2.
2018 or something?
Right. I just think that right now Star Wars is at this place where there's always hype around it because it's Star Wars. And I mean, it's coming from me. I love Star Wars. And in fact, more than Marvel. I like Star Wars more than Marvel, but it just might be a little overrated at the moment, you know. And I feel bad saying that,
That's
but
fair.
it's
I,
just,
I
you
was
know,
teetering between over. I was pretty confident that it wasn't properly rated, but I was
I
between
think as a
overrated and
whole it
underrated.
is. I
Yeah,
think
but right now in this
but
moment,
right now I think it's just a little overrated.
and that's fair.
Just a
That's
little.
totally fair. I like the segment, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. I love this one. We'll do it again.
Well, time to rip our seesaws.
Yeah, someone say rip.
Yo, rip 40,000 more times. I gotta say rip before I get Netflix's quota.
Who's going first?
Um, I can go first. I'll go first because
Okay.
I think yeah, I'll be quick. Something I want to see is actually I got two things that I want to see. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, new Game of Thrones show. We kind of talked about this off air earlier. And I want to see that. I think that's going to be really special. I think it's going to be really fun. It's only 6 episodes. Just came out yesterday, the first one. And I also want to see Lord of the Rings. I promise you, I'm starting Lord of the Rings this weekend. I'm going to watch the first movie this weekend.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
I've been a notorious Lord of the Rings hater. I've only seen the first half of the first movie multiple times because I can never get through it. I think it's so boring. That's probably my hottest film take of all time.
You are
Is that
not going to want to clip this because if you post that on TikTok saying that, you're going to get so much fucking hate, I'm sure.
I'm admitting that I haven't seen the whole thing and my mind can be changed. But as of now, I think it's so fucking boring. But I'm admitting that there's a chance I'm wrong. But you're right. People are gonna hate me for that.
I think it's the best trilogy of all time. So
And
we're on opposite ends of that spectrum.
that's why I'm gonna watch it because I think there's a chance that you could be right. Um, and something I
I know
saw
I'm right.
recently is Hairspray. Have you ever seen Hairspray?
Yeah, of course I've seen Hairspray.
My girlfriend's been really wanting to show me it because she's been like craving to watch it again. And I just watched the 2007 one with Zac
John
Efron.
Travolta
John
and
Travolta's crazy in that movie.
yeah,
No, it was pretty good. I think James Marsden is such an underrated actor.
I
I mean, we
agree.
talked about Cyclops being underrated. Like, bro was in Hairspray, and like he's really good in it. He's very talented singing and everything. Zac Efron, of course. Um, the main girl, I've realized has done like no work after Hairspray. Um, it's actually really funny. Have you seen interviews with her?
Not that
I
I
don't
can
even know
think
her
of.
name, dude. She has no PR training. Do you remember Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah.
Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens were dating, and then an interviewer, a very famous interviewer, I forgot
Her
what her
name
name
is
is.
Nikki Blonsky.
Nikki Blonsky was being interviewed by Michelle, no, something Williams. I don't know her name. Um, and she's interviewing her, and she says, "Do you think Zach and Vanessa are gonna get married?" And Nikki Blonsky, who has no PR training whatsoever, goes, "Nope." And then she goes, oh, that's heartbreaking. Why not? She goes, they just don't seem like they're gonna work out. Zach's my best friend. I know him very well. They're not gonna work out. And like she just straight up says that, and all the comments are like, "Yo, there's no way." First of all, Zach's her best friend, and then the girls like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, what's going on?" And she just goes, "Yeah, no, Zach's for me, and that's it. Like, yeah, they're not gonna make it." I was like, "Holy shit!" So that's a fun little fun fact. If you look at Nikki Blonsky interview, or her cameos are hilarious. Poor girl, but good
Mm.
movie.
I like
Anyway, yeah, I
Hairspray.
saw Hairspray. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like Hairspray. I think it's a fun movie. Um, all right, something that I saw recently is the old classic film Roman Holiday, directed by William Wyler, who also directed Ben-Hur, which we
Mm.
watched for Bible study. It stars Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn, and basically it's about this European princess in Rome, and she has a night off from a busy schedule, and she's really tired, and she ends up falling asleep on a park bench, and she, the Gregory Peck plays this reporter, this American reporter, runs into her. He doesn't realize who she is, and the next morning, he realizes who she is, and he was like, oh, he's trying to get an interview with her. And this film is so great. It was right up there with Ben-Hur. It shows me why William Wyler truly is one of the early great filmmakers. They're an absolute delight to watch. It really sets the standard for the modern rom-com.
Mm.
I know you liked, not loved Ben-Hur.
It was okay. Yeah.
I think you might like this movie more. It's way shorter, first of all.
You could be a 3 hour movie, you're still way shorter.
Yeah. So I think you would like this movie more. I think the backdrop of Rome is really cool. I find it hard not to like it. It is an all time classic. I'm sure you've heard of it before,
Yeah.
and for good reason. It'd been on my watch list, and so I got Roman Holiday out of the way.
Cool.
And something I want to see is season 2 of Hijack, starring Idris Elba on Apple TV. I saw the first one. He was this sort of, he plays this expert negotiator on a hijacked airplane, and every episode was like an hour on the plane. Really cool concept. Really excited to see him come back for season 2. That looks like it takes place on a train now. So I would just buy a car and stop,
I was gonna
taking
say,
public transportation
how
if I
many
ever had money.
seasons until you go, how is this happening to this fucking guy like this
Yeah,
many
right.
times?
But
Like third season's on a boat, fourth season's on like
it's on a
an Uber
spaceship.
pool, like yeah,
Yeah, Uber.
spaceship.
He's on like a tour bus, the one with the double
Yeah,
decker tour bus or something. No, but it is a cool show, and we talked about how Apple TV just really does not miss with their shows.
non-stop bangers.
So I'm excited for season 2. Season 1 was a lot of fun. So
Cool. I started watching Shrinking. Apple TV is goated, dude.
oh my god, I love. Season 2 should be coming out, or season 3
Yeah,
of that should be coming out
I'm a
very
couple episodes
shortly.
in.
I need to watch that.
All right, so there we go. That's the That's the episode 39. Damn, dude, 39. That's crazy.
39. You remember 39 Clues,
Nope.
the book series?
Nah.
You didn't read the 39 Clues as a kid?
No, dude.
Wait, hold up.
I read Percy Jackson about 50,000 times, and that was it.
Dude, the 39 Clues books were gas, man. Anyone out there, like, let me know if you've read the 39 Clues. I loved those books.
Are there pictures in it? Because I might have read it. Oh, dude, I've never read these, but these are the blue book, book 1, the blue book with the bones and skeletons on it and shit. I've seen that cover at every Scholastic book fair ever.
Yeah, that's where I first got like those when I was a kid.
I never read it, but I always saw that.
I don't think I read all these. I definitely didn't read that like fucking bottom right one or whatever, but I definitely read like the top row. Yeah, those books were gas, man.
All right, fair enough.
39 episodes for 39 Clues.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to go read 39 Clues and get back to us with your results, how you feel about it. Any words you want to say?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment more Bible study numbers for us. We'll be picking a new one next week. Look out next week for the Oscar nominations. We'll be going over those. And share this with all your friends and fellow film lovers. Follow us on all our socials and subscribe and all that junk. And
we love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.